You're listening to KEMPIRE here on the KEMPIRE Radio Network. What's going on? Bay Area's in the building. South Carolina's in the building. New York City's in the building. Jacksonville, Florida's in the building. Baltimore, having big fun in Baltimore is in the building. What's going on? What's going on, everyone? The City of Angels is in the building. What's going on? California's in the building. Bay Area's in the building. Love it. Georgia's in the building. Georgia Peach is in the building. Palm Harbor, Florida's in the building. What's going on, everyone? Happy Monday. Let me know if you can hear me, see me, all that good stuff. This is our weekly recap of the Real Housewives of Atlanta. I'm feeling good. It is a chilly morning here in New York City. It's 40-something degrees. That is quite abnormal for April. And also, it's the beginning of tourist seasons. Happy 420 day. Come on. I am so happy. Taurus season is officially here. Happy belated Aries season. We celebrated the Aries all season. Now it's our time. Back up. We're going to be talking about it for the next few days, the next couple of weeks. Happy Taurus seasons. If you're a Taurus, let us know. If you love a Taurus, let us know. Let me know your birthday. Mine's not till next month. That's the best part of Taurus. Sorry to April Tauruses. And if you celebrate 420, happy 420. I don't, but to each their own, okay? I'm celebrating Taurus season, okay? Sidebar, we're about to be out of the planet of Uranus. Tauruses have been dealing with a lot over the last 8 years. Well, we're about to officially move out of Uranus. Uranus is moving into Gemini. Gemini, get you a Taurus friend so we could walk you through what everything that we went through over the last 8 years. Well, we're about to be officially out of it. So, bye Uranus. Just saying. Anyway, guys, a shout out to everyone that's here for our weekly recap of the Real Housewives of Atlanta. All right, where do we even begin? So we'll begin where we ended, and that was with K. Michelle opening up about her butt shots that she got of silicone, illegal butt shots that she got. And she said, I already had a nice butt. I don't know what I was doing, but she was also in the music industry. She's talked about this before. And I always forget sometimes when recapping the show that there are a large portion of people that are not familiar with K. Michelle. You're not familiar with her music. You're not familiar with her time on reality television. So there are some people that are watching K. Michelle for the first time. Maybe not our community, because we talk about reality television. We talk about music. We don't just talk about housewives here. So I sometimes forget that there is a large portion of people that are not familiar with K. Michelle at all. So you're really seeing her with brand new eyes. And you're like, I don't know why people are always having these opinions about K. Michelle and this and that. She seems lovely. She seems down to earth. She's funny. She really is. There is a sweetness to K. Michelle that's always been there. Even when she was shaking the table, there is a sweetness to K. Michelle. But I've been telling you, I also feel like there's a sensitivity since we're talking about astrological signs. She's a Pisces. So she is very sensitive. I really would want to know K. Michelle's full astrological chart, because I feel like there's a lot of Pisces or probably a lot of water sign in her chart, which probably means she's a little psychic too. But anyway, she's very sensitive. And I've been telling you, I don't know if K. Michelle is going to be able to deal with, first of all, the ladies coming for her, but also the audience reacting to her. She even reacted to a tweet that I posted last night. Basically, I forgot what she said. I didn't repost it, but I forgot what she said. Basically responding to what I was saying to the episode, that I do feel like K. Michelle was extra sensitive in Portia's comment. We will get there, but I'm still going to stand on that. However, I do feel a little differently. This is why I'm glad I rewatched the episodes, because I can see why K. Michelle might feel a way, because we're watching an edited version of the show, and K. Michelle does say that she's been having conversations with Portia about her surgeries and things like that, and that she felt, wait, was Portia trying to set me up? Because she saw what she did with Kelli. So I was like, I never thought of it that way, but we will get back to that. So back to K. Michelle. So K. Michelle's in the hospital. As last week, she ended the episode with the emergency that she had. Sidebar, I don't know if you guys got to see it, but I got to see K. Michelle's performance at that country music Hall of Fame thing that she did. She sounded amazing. And that's the thing. You never know what people are going through when they're on live like this or performing on stage. You just don't know what people are going. First of all, you don't know what people are going through just walking down the street. People could have a lot on their mind, going through a lot. The fact that she was able to get up on that stage, she was in the middle of a medical emergency. She still got up on that stage and performed and sounded amazing. You would have never known that she was going through anything. So she had that performance. She went to the doctor. You saw what the doctor said to her. Apparently, a surgery that she had, reconstructive surgery that she had since trying to deal with all of the silicone shots that she put in her body. Apparently, she'll be dealing with this for the rest of her life because the silicone will never leave her body. And I was like, damn. Because I'm thinking to myself, because I already knew about her silicone shots, I'm thinking the reconstructive surgery that she's had over the years resolved the issue. But I didn't watch her Lifetime series that she did where she talked about that. And maybe she said it then. I'm like, so she's going to be dealing with stuff like this for the rest of her life. Wow. Ash says, Kay has me blocked on Twitter from many moons ago. I'm surprised she's never blocked me. But I'm not asking for it. I've already been blocked by some people. No, I'm only blocked by one person on the show. And that's Portia. But that's okay. Portia's probably a lot more sensitive that she portrays to the world. But she's a Cancer. See, K. Michelle is a Pisces, so they just wear their heart on their sleeve. So she's going to show you that she's sensitive. And honestly, I trust someone more like that than I trust someone that's going to present to the world like they're strong and big and bad, but behind the scenes, they're really sensitive. But that's Cancer. I'm a Cancer rising too. But I ain't fake. Play it. All right, guys, you just joined us. We're talking about the latest episode, this week's episode of The Real Housewives of Atlanta. Be sure to like the video if you haven't already. And if you're listening to the audio version of this on the KEMPIRE podcast, be sure to rate us on Apple Podcasts and on Spotify. We also just dropped our new trailer on the podcast, so be sure to take a listen to that. We also just dropped a new episode of Club KEMPIRE. So if you don't know what Club KEMPIRE is, that's the paid Apple Podcast subscription. If you have an Apple device, you can listen via the app. But if you don't, you can listen via the website. I just dropped the KEMPIRE After Dark live show featuring What Else Is Going On podcast host Taria Faison. If you missed it, this is your opportunity. And if you just want to listen to it again, become a Club KEMPIRE baddie today on Apple Podcasts. You can listen to it right now. Right now. Okay? Taurus Moon says, it's Taurus season. Yes. Thank you, Judge. Judge says this color looks great on me. Thank you. I don't know what color this is considered. What is it, like a plum? Oh, speaking of plums, sidebar, major sidebar. It has nothing to do with this show, but has to do with the color of this shirt. I'm watching The Testaments on Hulu. I'm watching The Testaments on Hulu. Shout out to Hulu, and you'll see why in a moment. And this has nothing to do with that because I literally watched... What did I watch on Hulu? Oh, I finished watching Love Story on Hulu. Why was I crying? Oh, some of the best acting in the world was on that series. They did a phenomenal job. This is why I'm so confused that Ryan Murphy's All's Fair was... Because, like, you can have such great stuff and then you have that. But anyway. So I watched the Love Story, the John F. K. Jr. and Carolyn Bessette series that they did. Phenomenal, really good. But then it went automatically into Testaments, and it's the spinoff from Handmaid's Tale. Oh, it's good. It's good. I'm locked in. I watched the first 4 episodes. Has nothing to do with this, but it reminded me of the color that I'm wearing, plum, because the plum girls that are in that. If you haven't gotten into it, get into it on Hulu and Hulu on Disney Plus. Okay, move it on. All right. Moving on. Back to Real Housewives. I just thought about it. It reminded me of a little bit of a plum. Oh, I have plums in the refrigerator. I'm going to have that later. Bye. I've digressed. Back to K. Michelle in the hospital because I have concerns. And it's not about K. Michelle's health. First of all the women showed up for K. Michelle. She says everyone reached out. Shamia showed up. I think Shamia is a good person. I know we are hard on Shamia. I do think that Shamia is a good person. If Shamia wasn't on the show and I saw Shamia in real life, I'm sure I would love Shamia. I think I'd probably tell Shamia, please calm down. Look, please calm down. You're a little loud, okay? But I think she's a good person. I think she's a good friend. I really do. I just don't think she's good reality television. But I've digressed. So she shows up. She actually went to visit K. Michelle. She says Portia called her. Phaedra called her. I saw that K. Michelle talked about Phaedra in some of her promo interviews and things like that. And she said Phaedra really is a good person and she really likes Phaedra. I was like, I believe that. I've always heard that about Phaedra. I just give Phaedra the side eye a little bit. Look, a little bit. Okay. Sidebar. Did y'all notice we had no Kelli in this episode? They had flashbacks with Kelli, but we had no Kelli at all in this episode. I will tell you this. I had a feeling that Kelli was not going to be full-time this season. She is full-time, but I had a feeling just based off of what I was hearing. And I was like, is she going to be full-time this season? Because it's giving that she couldn't. And then this week we get an episode with her not even being in the episode. Did you miss her? Did you even notice? It is a full cast, though. It's a cast of 8 women. If anything, I feel like they're really pushing up. Cynthia recently said that she's open to coming back full-time, if it makes sense. I know Cynthia wants that full-time check. I don't blame her. Wouldn't you want the full-time check? But I wonder, with all the microscope on her and her new relationship, it's not a really new relationship anymore. They've been together, almost 2 years. She says she's open to coming back full-time. I think she's good as a friend. I think she's perfect as a friend. I like how even in this week's episode, you get to see more of Cynthia showing up as a friend. I like Cynthia as a friend, and you can see Cynthia navigating the girls, trying to help, be like a mother hen to them. I don't think Cynthia needs to come back full time. I like her as a friend. I'm sure they're paying her better than a friend, and I wouldn't be surprised if she's able to feature some of her businesses on the show. Damn, some of y'all saying y'all don't miss Kelli. I don't know. Do you think Kelli? I don't think. Here's the thing. I can see Kelli coming back next season because I don't see the same reaction that you guys have for Kelli versus other people. I could see. Well, here's the thing. I could see them not bringing back Shamia, but what saves Shamia is that she's actually married. She has the lifestyle that people keep saying that they love to see, but Shamia is so cringy. And here's the thing too. Shamia also has a real connection with the women in Atlanta. Like she's friends with a lot of these women and has history, including Portia. So it makes sense. Kelli doesn't necessarily have a history with these women. She's building a history now with Shamia. But again, there goes Shamia being the glue amongst these women. Okay. J.I. says, it feels that way. J.I. says, hey, J.I. says, unpopular opinion. I don't think this is unpopular. Cynthia and Nina has aged out of this cast. This particular cast, I don't know. I already said that I feel like sometimes when Cynthia's around the other women, I see the age difference. Even though I don't see it physically, because clearly Cynthia looks great, but the energy is a little different. However, I do feel like, and you guys always say that Angela feels older, I feel like Angela would have fit in with the older cast. But I can see that. J.I. I'm not going to say that I can. I've been saying that, especially when last season. Especially with this new crew of women. But okay. October says, I don't care for this cast, though. All right. Oh, Foxy says Cynthia has definitely not aged out of the cast. It's an energy. I don't think it's necessarily just age. I just feel like it's a different energy. There's a more mature energy from Cynthia in comparison to these other women. But I've digressed yet again. Back to K. Michelle in the hospital because I have concerns. K. Michelle goes into the hospital, 2-hour surgery to remove tissue from a previous surgery. So she says that she has silicone in her body and she'll have silicone in her body for forever. Ugh. She says she will never be fully healed. So all the ladies, as I mentioned to you before, reached out to K. Michelle, and Shamia even showed up for K. Michelle. Okay? K. Michelle, at one particular point while she's laying in bed, asked Dr. Caston, she said, do I look pretty? He says, I'm not feeling the love between them. And I know they've been friends for years. I was the first person to tell you guys this. When the rumors were like, oh, hey, Kentucky Poppy. Kentucky Poppy says, hey, Kempire, Twitter is watching. Hey, Twitter. Hey, X. See you guys. There's something, I don't know. I've told you, they've been together a long time. I know they've been together a long time. On and off for a very long time. it feels, unless she's really trying to make this man a thing, even though he has not really solidified, you have to go with a whole other man in order to get his interest and for him to marry you. That already is red flags. But she's in bed and she's, do I look pretty? He doesn't feel like he's even loving on her. She's in bed and he's on his phone and he's looking down. It's just, look. Exactly. Libra says he wasn't even looking, just like a typical. Is that your typical man? Look, I need to ask a question. Is you in the hospital? You just had a 2-hour surgery, and your wife says, "Do I look pretty?" And she said it so innocently. I felt bad. She said, "Do I look pretty?" And he was just like, "Damn, okay." Tai says this cast is okay. I don't mind them. You're not selling me on that. Lisa says he looked tired. Doesn't he always though? Look, doesn't. And look, he could be tired. He could be tired. Don't get me wrong. Because we're watching an edited show. For all we know, he could have been there the entire night. She could have asked him for the millionth time, do I look pretty? And he's like, damn it, I done told you look pretty. But I don't know. I'm just paying attention to the signs. And look, when you sign up for a reality show, people are going to dissect your relationship and what is given to the show. And I'm saying this because we're going to dissect Pinky and her relationship a little bit later on. But it just stood out to me because I'm just putting it out there, y'all. I'm putting it out there. I'm not saying there's anything wrong here. But when they say you see something, you say something, I'm saying something. Don't tell me not to say something when I see something, okay? So when we come back to like KEMPIRE said, and now look. Okay. Damn. Life. Wait, Lit with Beth says, tired from what? Unlicensed dentist. Oh, damn. Why Bev do that to Bev? He's not unlicensed. He's unlicensed in Georgia, but he's licensed in Tennessee. Why Bev do him like that, y'all? Wait, look, look, NASA says, wait. No, oh, you know when you laugh so bad, like the back of your head tighten up? He's licensed, y'all. He has a whole practice with his father in Tennessee. I can't. Why are y'all this way? He's licensed, Bev. She says, tired for what? Unlicensed dentist? Damn. I need a moment, okay? Bev. I can't wait. I need to relax my face. My face hurts from Bev's comment. You ever look like the back of my head's tightening up? That's when you know it's a good laugh. Back of my head's tightening. My face is, oh. Oh, wait. Tiki says, and he is now licensed in Georgia. Tiki, you know them? How do you know? Tiki, how do you know? She says, and he's now licensed in Georgia. Oh my gosh. But Bev, that was hilarious. T-Talk says, nah, Bev, we with you. All right. No, we just got the update. He's now licensed. Whoo! Wow. Okay. Beautiful Soldier says, I watched K. Michelle's season of Marriage Boot Camp, and I thought they should have broken up then. I can't believe she married him. He never seems emotionally there for her. See? And I didn't watch them on Marriage Boot Camp. I remember them being on Marriage Boot Camp. But Beautiful Soldier says, I watched K. Michelle's season of Marriage Boot Camp, and I thought they should have been broken up. Then I should have broken up then. I can't believe she married him. He never seems emotionally there for her. Oh, you're right, Chelsea. Chelsea, licenses are public information. Tiki apparently looked it up. The Mellow React says Phaedra helped with his license in Georgia, according to K. Michelle. When was this? In one of the interviews? Not y'all. Okay. Not y'all getting us the information. It still don't take away from what Bev said. That was hilarious. Bev still made me laugh. Okay. Okay. Isaiah says that K. Michelle stated that Phaedra helped him get his license in the. Oh, okay. See, I didn't watch the entire interview. That was like a two hour plus interview. I couldn't keep up with all the things that were coming out from that interview. But thank you. All right. Hold on. Lisa Evans says, y'all want things both ways. Who's y'all? Please state who you're talking to. You want him to play it up for the camera, but then you want him to be real. Shaking my head. If he isn't like that in real life, then let it be. Are you talking to me? Lisa Evans, you can't be talking to me. You can't be coming in Taurus season talking to me like that because the real Mary is still here. Because I never asked him to play it up for the cameras. Okay? I want him to be real. And what he's given us is giving us that should she have married this man? And based on the people that watched Marriage Boot Camp, apparently she shouldn't have married this man. And there have been red flags with him since back then. I don't need him to play it up for the cameras. Okay? But all right. Just saying. SK says, K. Michelle's storyline is curated, but she has a great TV personality and the girls are scared of her, so nobody's going to expose her. Yet. That's what you think. Yet. Wait until next season. At that part. Miss Parker, thank you for being a member. Miss Parker says, it's purely an observation. We can only judge what we see. And it's an edited version. And we always put out that disclaimer. We're watching an edited version. We're giving grace. It's a me thing says, laughing out loud. But who are you talking to? Who are you talking to? Are you talking to the chat? Are you talking to me? Okay. Lenora says, Kempire, are you sensitive? How am I sensitive? I do have a Cancer rising. Okay. Oh, no. Lisa says no in the chat. She says no the chat. Okay. I was like, I never asked him to play it up for the cameras. Foxy says she loves her on the show. She loves K. Michelle on the show. Sonia says, let's be real. Who can be there emotionally for K. Michelle? She's always crying. Damn. She's always upset about something or ready to go off. Her emotions are all over the place, and I love her. Well, here's the thing. Again, she's a Pisces, so I'm not surprised by that. And she's always been this way. But I'm a little concerned for her because between the Bravo universe, between these other women, I don't know if she is going to be able to handle it. Just saying. Dave says, sometimes we forget Kempire is from New York. Des, let him know. Okay, let him know, Greg. Just let him know. Okay. Oh, is her moon a Cancer? Ooh. She definitely psychic. Let me get K. Michelle in the chair and talk to her. Like, you psychic, K. Michelle? Can you predict things? Amanda says, y'all leave K alone. Look. This is a show. We're recapping the show. All right, let me move on, because if I don't move on, we're going to be talking about this for a very long time. But speaking of Hulu and speaking of their new season of The Testaments, this has nothing to do with Testaments, but shout out to our sponsor, Hulu, for today. Real talk. You live for reality TV. Every time it gets crazy, gets juicy, gets dramatic, and completely irresistible. And lucky for you, Hulu on Disney Plus does too, with the most unhinged and unmatched library of shows. Period. Turn on larger-than-life docusoaps like Season 4 of The Secret Lives of Mormon Wives and the hit new series Love Thy Nader, featuring superstar model Brooks Nader and her sisters. Obsess over the seasons of iconic dating shows like Love Island UK and Farmer Wants a Wife. Get hooked on irresistible food competitions like MasterChef. Dive into hit game shows like Celebrity Family Feud and revel in show-stopping fashion competitions, including the one and only Project Runway. Whatever it is you're into, Hulu has it all. No filler, no fluff, just thousands of episodes of the very best in reality TV every single day. Because Hulu gets real. Stream now on Hulu and Hulu on Disney Plus for bundle subscribers. Terms apply. All right, thanks Hulu for sponsoring today's live recap of the Real Housewives of Atlanta. Yes, guys, get into Hulu, y'all. All right. That's hilarious in the chat. Let me say thank you. We had a super chat from Naza. Naza says, I don't think Portia meant it in a malicious way. The elevator doesn't go all the way to top sometimes. I said the same thing on X. However, I do feel like it was reckless of her to say that. We're going to talk about it, Naza. Thank you so much for the super chat. We appreciate your support. Thank you. LH Nell says, someone called her a sensitive gangster. She really is. She's always been this way, though. It's been a while since we've seen her on reality television, but she's always, not really. It hasn't been that long because she was just on Queen's Court. Superstar 7 says, leave us Pisces alone. I will never leave you Pisces alone. You guys are sensitive. Just own it. Just own it. Okay? Okay. Let's move on. All right, so Drew and Angela meet up at Angela's home, okay? Angela, we got to talk, girl. You got to work on your spread. If you host an event, Angela, this season, I hope it's not going to be giving what you've been giving so far. The way that you served your husband that dry hamburger with a couple of chips and watermelon on a platter that's supposed to have a plate on the platter, I was just like, and then you served Drew that sorry looking, oh my oh, Angela, you gotta work on your hosting skills. That presentation was sad as all hell. That was a sad presentation. And then poor Drew had to take the platter and put the sad grapes on the platter. I said, oh, this is not how you do it. You needed some plates and you put that on the platter. I was like, that's a platter. That's not a dish. I love you some Angela, but she cannot host. Okay. She cannot host. Okay. That is embarrassing. Right? That whole setup was, I'm glad she still had something to serve, but it looked pitiful. This is the second pitiful platter that we've seen. It's one thing to serve your husband, even though you should do better anyway, but you're at home, you're with your husband, but you're having a guest come over. That platter with you're supposed to take the dips and put them in a plate, like a dip bowl. She left it in the plastic. Like it looked like she had gotten that from like the local restaurant. I'm trying to, like, it was like a leftover from food that she had ordered, and she left it in the actual container. No, Angel, you're supposed to take that out and put it in a dip bowl. Angela is grown, okay? I shouldn't have to tell her any of this stuff. Life Lit with Beth says, I love that she's herself. We look forward to these moments and things that people probably are not going to pay attention to. Yeah, and a 5-piece chicken wing. Drew was like, did you bring this from Nana's Chicken and Waffle? It's okay. I'm not judging. I think it's funny. But I definitely, because here's the thing, the girl's going to talk about her. I'm sure she's going to host something this season, and they're going to talk about her in regards to her hosting skills. What is this platter? Let's get it together. No, Lisa says, not very appetizing. Danielle says, Angela hosts like Kenya. I wasn't gonna say it, but you're right. But okay. It looked so pitiful, especially when Drew took the platter and put it on the 1 or 2 grapes on the platter. Mind you, I went to my friend's house a few weeks ago, and he had a better setup than Angela did. I know he's a gay man, but still, I wasn't expecting it. I was like, look at you. He had the fruit and the cheese and the stuff. I was like, oh, and a proper plate to put the fruit and the cheese and the crackers on. Okay? I was like, what is going on? And then he got the food from, he didn't cook it. He got the food from Trader Joe's. But he put it on a proper platter in order to serve. I know gay man, but still, Angela, come on. Oh, wait, the air conditioner wasn't working because Drew did look a little hot, didn't she? SK says, I like Angela's authenticity. I love Angela. That's my Taurus sister. Okay. Kurt Barker says, leave Kenya alone. Thank you. Y'all got to calm down. All right. That was light shade, but it was the truth when it comes to Kenya and her hosting. Okay. She's gotten better over the years, but it's been rough. Okay. She's gotten. Yes. Exactly. Taurus Moon says, not Kenya miss crab cakes. Y'all remember that trip? Come on. Stop. Lady Natsu says, not Kenya catching strays. Excuse me. Yes. It's okay. It's the truth. It's history. It's funny. Laugh. Aha. Calm down. The Team Twirl be losing their mind sometimes. It's like you can't say one funny thing about they fave. Calm down. Exactly. Fox said, here come the twirlies. Calm down. All right. All right. Tomorrow, guys, don't forget tomorrow's Tuesday Takeover. I will be talking about Real Housewives of Rhode Island. For those that may not realize, that's when we talk about it on Tuesdays now. I have lots of thoughts. Rhode Island is giving. It's definitely giving. Episode 4, it's definitely giving. Oh, wait, no. Pretty Girl says, the way Angela sweats, I hope the AC wasn't broken. I wasn't even paying attention to Angela sweating. We know Angela usually runs hot. I was paying more attention to Drew's hair. Drew's hair, you could tell she was a little hot. But maybe from coming from outside, I don't know. Remember, they filmed the show during the summer. And it's hot in Atlanta. I've been to Atlanta during the summer. Oof, it is hot in Atlanta. Okay? All right, moving on. All right, so I spent this entire scene. I focused on the spread. Let me get to everything else that they're talking about. So Angela's daughter's back home with her. She's still married. They talk a little bit about her not finding out later that her daughter got married, and her daughter's still very close with her. She's filmed a lot with her daughter so far this season. So Drew is doing what I told producers to do last when they announced that Drew, Shamia, and KEMPIRE were going to be on the show. I told you, we do not need 3 people pursuing music. And you notice how Shamia and Drew, they briefly talked about their music, but they really are downplaying it this season. Production, thanks for watching, and thanks for taking the note. I'm just saying, I'm happy that we're not focusing on 3 singers this season. And Drew downplay her music career, and she's acting pays the bills. So is she saying that the music is not paying? In this day and age, music is not paying the bills, unfortunately. Unless you're like a Rihanna and you're getting millions of streams, it's not paying the bills. But she's doing live shows, so that you can get some money from that. Okay. Anyway, so Drew talks about balancing work and being a mother. She says that she's in a place where she doesn't have it all figured out. And if you've been watching the news reports that we've been doing on Drew and her divorce, we can tell she doesn't have it all figured out and what's been going on between her and Ralph and her 3-year divorce. Okay. So they flash back to a scene where she's with her daughter, and her daughter seems to be upset, and she asks Josiah, you know what's wrong with her? And you're like, are you upset because mommy has been away? And she just like shrugs her shoulders, her daughter. All right. So she says she's still trying to figure all that out. I can only imagine because, and that's why I do give Drew some grace, because first of all, we know what she's dealing with when it comes to Ralph and that personality and what she's been going through. But she's gotta figure this out. She's gotta figure this out and get away from that man. I think the minute she gets away from Ralph, we're going to see her do better. I really do. But unfortunately, she's got a co-parent with Ralph. Okay. Angela lets us know. She gives us an update on her real estate situation. So you remember last season, that was her whole storyline. She had 3 different properties. So Angela says she lost $2 million in real estate. And I said to myself last night on X, I said to myself, Karen Huger once said, you've got to have millions to owe millions, okay? So I said and she said $2 million of her own money, not Charles Oakley's money. So I think we sometimes forget what Angela does because we've been so focused on her real estate ventures. But she reminds us, like, she has her fan line that's coming out, but that's new. But before that, she's been doing financial stuff. So she has her own financial consulting agency. It was tax time, so she helps you get your taxes together and things like that. So her and RHOA from Rhode Island are working in similar industries. So she has that. She also has other real estate investments as well. And mind you, remember she told us that she was a millionaire on her own without Charles Oakley. And I said, oh, okay, Angela, I see you. So in order for her to lose $2 million of her own dollars, I was like, and be okay. It's not easy. And this is what I think is important to know, because especially as Black people, when we talk about credit, when we talk about bankruptcy, we have a very different mindset when it comes to that. But I think we need to start changing our mindsets when it comes to that, because when we look at the people that are wheeling and dealing and having the millions and the billions, they've also lost millions of dollars. They've lost businesses. They've filed for bankruptcy. I'm not saying that should be normalized. What I'm saying is that sometimes that's what you have to do in order to save yourself and save your business so you can go on and do other business. We're going to talk more about that when we talk about Pinky and what Pinky's been going through. Someone in the comments section says, Kempire, how did you not know Pinky was Jamaican? Pinky is such a Jamaican name. And I said, oh my gosh, you're so right. I have an Aunt Pinky. I was like, because I'm so used to calling her Aunt Pinky that I was like, oh wait, you're right. I have an Aunt Pinky. Who else is Jamaican in here or Caribbean that got an Aunt Pinky? I was like, oh yeah, I love my Aunt Pinky. Shout out to my Aunt Pinky. I love my Aunt Pinky. I was like, oh, you OMG, yes, yeah, I got an Aunt Pinky. It all made sense. It all made sense. Thank you for reminding me that. Very Caribbean. What are some other Caribbean names? Let me know, guys. What are some other Caribbean names that we should? Velma. Look, Velma. Let me see. What other Caribbean names are there? Look, Billy says, I have a sister with that name. See? Shelly. Yes, Coco Shelly. TJ says, we have Pinky and Fried and Africa too. Here's the thing. Anytime someone associates anything Caribbean or Jamaican to Africa, I'm like, oh, obviously, because roots. So we took it over here, right? All right. My sister's nickname is Pinky, KJ says. See? Look, Kira says, I'm Jamaican and I have a cousin Pinky and an Aunt Punky. I love it. Oh, yeah, see, even in people are saying, even in Africa, it's very common. Dina says Sherry Ann, yes. Sherman, yes. Winston. Anything, yes. Miss Brown Sugar says anything plus Ann. Oh, all right. Oh, Caribbean name Gertrude. I don't know. Maybe it's Caribbean, but do I know a Jamaican Gertrudes? Watch all the Jamaican Gertrudes be in the comment section. Okay, Billy says punky for pumpkin. We are on such a tangent today. Let's focus, because I know you guys want to call in and share your thoughts on the latest episode of the Real Housewives of Atlanta. If you haven't already, be sure to like the video. It's easy and it's free. We already have 1,500 of you in the building. How do we have 1,500 people in the building and you guys have not liked this video yet? How? We don't even have 500 likes and we have 1,500 people watching. Between YouTube, on Facebook, we're live on Twitch. Shout out to everyone watching on X. I'll wait. Here go Danielle. Danielle says, hold on. Velma like off of Scooby-Doo? So she was Jamaican? I mean, with that haircut, probably. Oh, Lord. All right. Super says Angela had to have a bag because Amari went to Woodward Academy. Oh, I think we forget some of the things that are said to us about Angela in last season. But this week reminded me. I was like, oh, wait a second. No, she said that she was a millionaire before she was with Charles Oakley. Jan says, whack us, Kev, because I be forgetting. See? You're welcome. Shout out to all our members, guys. Become a member today of the channel by heading over to teamkempire.com/join. All right? Thank you. Deborah says, sorry, I forgot. It's okay. Sometimes you guys need a reminder. And look, we're already at 524 likes. But what about the other 1,000 of you that haven't liked the video? What about the other 1,000 of you that have not liked the video? That's crazy. Don't you think? To be watching something for the last 40-something minutes and didn't like the video? Ooh, Foxy says, if you forget to, you get blocked. Oh, Lord. Let me get back to this. All right. I'm feeling good today. How are you guys? Maybe because it's tourist season? Maybe. I swear. I know it's Happy 420 Day, but I did not have an edible or nothing. Nope. I don't do that. All right. Moving on. I'm just feeling good because it's tourist season. Uranus is about to be out of our sign. All right. So back to this. So Angela reveals that she lost $2 million in real estate of her own money. Okay. Then they end up talking about Drew and this guy, Black. Why do you think that Drew downplays her relationship with Black? Is it because she's still married, but she's been separated from, what's his name? Ralph, for 3 years. But she downplays her relationship. Okay, I'm like, all right. And she ends up looking, are you dating him? And she's, okay, let's look up the definition of dating. And she says, it's not romantic. Then what is it? I don't understand. Why are you, like, what? And it is such a difference from Ralph to this guy in regards to like energy. I'm not even just talking about looks because he's not a bad looking guy. We got a closer look at him. I know I called him Kodak Black last week. That's because he was in the phone, so I really couldn't see him. He wasn't as bad. He still favors Kodak Black in a way. Okay, maybe a cleaned up version of Kodak Black. He still favors him. And those chiclet teeth. I can't. But they're very different. Ralph is a little bit more clean cut. He's a little bit more edgy. But maybe in her rebound. This is what she's doing. All right. Someone said, yeah, everyone's saying Forever Tyranny says she's still married. Yeah, but she's not with the man anymore. Okay. They haven't been together for 3 years, so she's not supposed to move on at all in 3 years? Okay. All right. So she tries to downplay her relationship. She looked at the definition of dating, but it's not romantic, whatever she has with him. Angela, in her confessional, she's Drew's getting the D. The way she said that, and she put some bass in her voice, I had to look up from my notes. I was like, wait a second, Angela. Angela's funny. Angela's definitely funny. She's a good addition. She's probably one of the best additions to Atlanta in a long time. Don't you guys think Angela's a good addition to the show? BKE says, Kemp, my birthday is tomorrow. Happy birthday to you. Nightbot is about to get you for all the caps, though. Just in time for your birthday. Swoleston says Delroy is a Jamaican name. Is it? Okay. Forever Tyranny says Black mentioned the fact that she is still married. Yeah, but Black is still flirting with her. Black still wants to be with her. She's the one that's downplaying the relationship. He's making it very obvious that he's interested. He's bringing flowers. He's going on dates. You know what I mean? Yes, he wants to marry her, though. That's what it seems like. You're not girlfriend material. You wife material. I don't think Drew should be jumping into any other marriage again. Not right now. Not right now. Especially with how petty Ralph is. You do not need that. And maybe that's part of the reason why she's hesitant to be open about who she's dating, because of how petty Ralph can be. All right. Rahina says, yes, Angela is a vibe. Angela is great. Yes, I love it. Love it. Okay. Miss Brown Sugar says Angela and K. Michelle have it. So you guys see K. Michelle coming back next season? I feel like just based off of the first, episode 3? First 3 episodes, K. Michelle, although sensitive, Pisces, she's been a good addition. She's definitely been a good addition. And I think in her second season, she'll be more relaxed. I can see where she's not as relaxed on this show. And it could be because there have been this big expectation of what is she going to bring? Is she going to be stinking up the joint? That kind of thing. So I do feel like she's pulled back a little bit, but she's still bringing it. She's definitely still bringing it. All right. SW says, I think so too. Ralph is too petty. That could be part of the motivation for Drew downplaying whatever she's going through. But Angela says she's getting the D. All right. All right, let's get to this scene. Speaking of K. Michelle, we have Portia, K. Michelle, Phaedra, and Cynthia getting their pedicure. So we have this big group scene. K. Michelle got her glam at the hospital. Did not realize she was getting glam because she was going right into a scene. So she just had a 2-hour surgery, and she's going right into a scene. Caston brings her to the scene. He drops her off to meet the girls, okay? K. Michelle explains to the ladies what happened to her, okay? Portia, out of nowhere, says, did you have a miscarriage? Here's the thing. I'm going to twerk on the fence with this because, in one sense, yes, Portia speaks out of turn all the time. We talked about this when she was on Traders, and she just says anything that comes to her mind. She doesn't have a filter. However, there's an element to this conversation that I missed, because K. Michelle reveals that she had been talking to the ladies, and she had talked to Portia about some of the things that she had gone through in regards to her surgeries and things like that. We don't know the depth of that conversation, if it was a recent conversation, but I can also see in Portia's head, based on the description of what she was saying with fluid being in the chair, she said, did you have a... But first of all, who's saying that in front of a group of women, especially because you've actually been through a miscarriage before? That's something that you want to just put out there. However, I will say this is me twerking on a fence. Portia asked her if she was okay with talking about this. Do I agree with her just coming out there and saying, blurting out, is it a miscarriage? Is this in line with what Portia always does and says? Yes. Am I surprised that K. Michelle later on thinks to herself, based on what she's experienced with Portia, with other people, that was Portia being, because literally K. Michelle is like, is she serious? Is she throwing shade? Or is she just dumb? I think all three. I don't think she was really throwing shade. I don't think that Portia came into the season thinking that she was going to come for K. Michelle. I think she's very well versed with K. Michelle's history. I don't think she was throwing shade. I really do not think that Portia was throwing shade in this moment. I think Portia really was serious, but I also think Portia doesn't have social cues, and I do think Portia is less than smart. I think all of that. However, I think K. Michelle's response and reaction in her confessional and later on, I do think that was an overreaction. But we were talking about this recently in her interview with Jason Lee. She's still having a reaction to what Giselle and Robin said on their podcast. So I feel like K. Michelle's just sensitive, especially if you missed the video that we did. I replayed what Giselle and regular Robin had to say, and I was like, especially with the amount of venom she had for Robin, I was like, I don't think it constituted that. All right. I don't think so. But I think that is what makes K. Michelle K. Michelle. Do I want K. Michelle to change? No. That's who you are. You're sensitive. Own it. You're sensitive. Is it going to be something we call out? Yes. You're on a reality show. I think she's being sensitive. I think that's just who she is. I don't want her to change who she is because we don't agree. She's being sensitive. It might be annoying. Come on. You Pisces, so damn sensitive. And now that I'm saying this, you're going to be sensitive to me saying this. All right? All right. She might unfollow me. She might block me. It's okay. I'm still going to talk, though. I'm still going to talk about it. All right. RC says, oh, wait, hold on. RC says, I also think Portia was triggered. She shared that she had her own miscarriage and how the bleeding was the same. Maybe. I just don't know if I would have come out and said, was it a miscarriage? I would let K. Michelle say what it was. All right. So Portia says that here's the thing with the editing this season. I think they're overdoing it with the editing because, and I get it, they're trying to be different. They're trying to set a new standard because they've done that before. It's the same production team from Dubai. They were doing different things over in Dubai. I think that's with the full confessionals and things like that. I can imagine they're trying to refresh. It's a new year. It's 2026. It's not the year 2000 when it comes to Housewives. So they're trying to do something different. It's coming across a little cheesy. It's coming across a little too sitcom-y. It's already people are saying that some of the storylines are not real. So between the fake storylines or the over performative behavior from some of the women, it's giving a little too campy for me. But all right. So they pause and K. Michelle reacts to what Portia says. And she's just, is she serious? Is she throwing shade or is she dumb? Because K. Michelle says that Portia knows what's going on with her because they had combos about their surgeries. Because remember Portia, when she was on her YouTube channel, revealed that she was going to get her breast done. Apparently she did get her breast done, and she's been having reactions to it. Defending Portia, I'll say this. Portia's surgery was recent. Yes, it's still truly original, Kerr Barker, that produces Potomac and produces Atlanta. They also produce Summer House, okay? Oh, Daniel, thank you. Daniel says, Kempire, she retweeted your post and said that you were right. She also acknowledged being sensitive about it and shared that she and Portia had a heart-to-heart and everything is good between them. Yes, I did see that. So that's good. And we do see the heart-to-heart at the end of this week's episode, which we will get to in a second. So K. Michelle says that Portia knows what's been going on with her. Here's the difference, though, Kay. Portia's surgery was recent. The surgery that you may have relayed to Portia, I'm not sure if you were talking about the surgery that you had 8 months ago, or was it the 2-hour surgery that you had? Portia is like, I didn't know which surgery, because especially when you've had multiple surgeries. Okay? All right. Moving on. Let me save. Guys, if you're just joining us, don't forget to like the video. It's easy, free way of supporting not just my channel, but other channels as well. Tamara, thank you so much for being a member for 10 months. Tamara says, Portia equals Dr. Jackie without the maliciousness. The difference, though, is that Dr. Jackie is a licensed professional. She should know better. That's the difference. You know what I mean? She should have a little bit more. She should be a little bit more, astute when it comes to stuff like that. Let me say thank you. Angie, thank you so much for the super chat. Angie says, Portia is too old for us to look the other way because she's pretty and dumb. The airhead trope is old and I'm tired. here's the thing. Were you here last week, Angie, when I said y'all let Portia get away with? Look, y'all let Portia get away with stuff because she's pretty, the pretty privilege of it all. I'm not letting Portia get away with this because I think she's pretty or because this is just who Portia is. Is Portia less than smart? Does Portia just speak what comes to mind? Yes. Some people don't grow out of that, unfortunately. Someone the other day in the comment section said that Kempire is a Portia stan. Huh? Wait. What? When did that happen? Rahina, thank you so much for the super chat. Let me shimmy for the $20. Y'all know we shimmy for $20 and up. Come on now. Rahina, thank you for being a member as well. Rahina says, hi, Kempire. I'm off today. So, wait, is there a day? Are you off for 420? Is that now a national holiday? Rahina says, hi, Kempire. I'm off today. So we live. Also, that spread looked hungry. Miss you, but always watching. Thank you, Rahina. I know. I was very disappointed in that spread. Shadrika, thank you so much for the super chat for being a member. Shadrika says, Drew's hair is cheap, and it's definitely not go naked hair. When the hair rises in the heat, you know it's a mixed blend. Laughing my A off. Damn. She now has a deal with Portia. They have a wig line. Her and Cynthia have a wig line with go naked hair. All right. That's what she was on TikTok. That's why Portia was on TikTok. She was selling the go naked hair there. Portia doesn't have me blocked there. Don't tell her. Shh, shh, shh. Watch she go block me now. She's still watching. I know Portia's still watching. Ron, thank you so much for the super chat. We appreciate your support. All right. Jay Washington, thank you so much for... Look, okay, Jay Washington, all smiling in your picture, showing off skin. Jay Washington says, Kay and Pinky are doing great so far. I didn't even realize we had no Kelli. Portia was wrong for that miscarriage comment, especially when you already knew. You knew what? That's why I'm not sure about. I'm not sure if she knew it. Either way, even if she knew what it was... No, if she knew what it was, then why would you say miscarriage? I just don't think I would say, I would let the person say what it was. I wouldn't say, oh, was it a miscarriage? You know what I mean? Yeah. J.I., thank you so much for the super chat. J.I. says, Kay laughed in the original scene. Yes. But Kay also said later on, in the moment, sometimes I will laugh, but then when I think back on it, I will feel a way about it. She did say that later on when they sit down for a conversation. But I agree. I paid attention to that as well. Like, in the moment, Kay, you didn't see there was any issue with it. You laughed. So J.I. says, Kay laughed in the original scene and even said that she thought that it might be a miscarriage too. I don't like the confessional gangster act from Kay. That did cross my mind too, J.I. I was like, there is a different energy, but we have to keep in mind, the confessionals are filmed after, basically at the end of the season. So who knows what else happens between some of these women during the season. So a lot of that energy that they're giving you during their confessionals is after the season has wrapped. They've had their beef. They don't like that person. And so, we also have to keep in mind too, and we don't hear the producers. A lot of what is, I forgot to mention this because we don't talk about this enough. A lot of what the producers are saying, they're producing in this moment. So keep in mind, they're not watching the scenes. So they're not watching the scenes and giving a confessional. Production is verbally relaying the scene to them and asking them questions. So remember, like even a text message, depending on how you relay something to someone, you're going to get a different reaction. So intentionally, sometimes production will relay comments that were said or something that happened in a scene. They'll relay it back in a shady way to get a shady response. Have we not talked about that? I feel like we needed to talk about that because we have to keep that in mind when we see these confessionals. So that's producers producing in the moment. So sometimes when you're seeing someone respond in a confessional, it's being provoked, basically. All right, guys. All right. We almost have 1,800 people in the building with only 700 likes. Guys, let's get to 1,000 likes. Keep liking the video. If you are a member of the channel, I will be dropping the call-in link on the post tab here on YouTube for our members. It's not a part of the perks, but we add it as a part of the perks. Become a member today at teamkempire.com/join. Shout out to all of our members. We have quite a few members in the live chat. We see you guys. All right, let's move on. All right. So still in this scene, Portia relays what happened between her and Kelli, which is what stood out to me. I was like, wait a second, we didn't get no scene with Kelli in this episode. So she relays what happened between her and Kelli in regards to the tea that she had with K. Michelle and Kelli. All right. And K. Michelle brings up Kelly's Hot Pocket. And Cynthia's, what's a Hot Pocket? Cynthia. Y'all think Cynthia was playing dumb? Because I know what a Hot Pocket is and I'm gay. What's a Hot Pocket? You know what I'm saying? All right. Moving on. Let's get to this scene. So Shamia and Gerald drop off their daughter to school, and they're on a walk, and Shamia tells Gerald that she took the deal with the rum company. And they flash back showing Gerald having a conversation with the rum company about this possible deal with Shamia. And he's asking very pertinent questions because Gerald has his own HVAC business, but he also has other businesses as well that he invests in. So he's asking really smart questions to this rum company, and he's not sold on this being a possible investment, which I found it to be funny because Shamia says she's not using Gerald's money. So to have him involved, I think if you're going to have someone involved, have someone that's an entrepreneur, serial entrepreneur involved. But you were saying that you were going to try and do your own thing. So the only own thing that you're doing here is investing your money, but you're still utilizing your husband to figure this stuff out. Fine, I would too, but don't try and make it seem like, oh, this is your thing when it doesn't feel like it's necessarily just your thing. But okay. So she tells Gerald that she signed the deal, and he's just, oh. He seems not blindsided, but he seemed like, oh, you signed the deal even after all, because he doesn't seem like he's sold on this idea or this business. She says that he's not impressed with the rum company, and he almost shut down the deal. Okay? He doesn't think that the rum company is market ready yet. And based off the meeting we see later, it makes sense. It makes sense. Cutie says it is Gerald's money. She says that it's not. But I agree with you. Maybe it is. But here's the thing, too. Shamia does have her own money. Shamia does work on the side in regards to, even outside of Housewives, she does do other things, including acting and hosting and things like that. So she does have her own money. She's a tourist. Come on. SK says, well, they are married. No, I agree. But she made it seem like she was going to do her own thing. Like this would be her own thing. Okemia says, what money? She does have her own money. Remember, she filmed this show, too. She probably got a good 6 figures from doing this show. All right. Oh, Grace says, who wants to drink rum bum? No one. We will get to that. Okay. Jermaine says, I forgot Shamia was on radio. She was on radio for a short period of time. You remember when that fallout. I don't think she's on any other radio show. Okay. All right. So that Shamia gives us a heads up on that. We will get back to Shamia and her rum company in just a second. Pinky, speaking of businesses, Pinky meets with an attorney. And this is where Pinky, and this is why I told you guys, before Pinky was on the show, I said, I'm actually interested in seeing what Pinky's going to give on the show because she really does have a story to tell. She has a story of the rise of Slutty Vegan, but also what she's had to do in recent years in regards to restructuring the business. And she filed for Chapter 11 because she wanted to restructure the business. So we find out in this scene when she meets with this attorney that when she bought back her business, because remember she lost her business for 40-something days. When she bought back her business, there were a lot of lawsuits that she was facing. She has a $2.1 million in lawsuits. She also claims that her CFO took money from the business. So there's a lot of stuff. Her story is really dynamic and it's really interesting and it's a lesson. And I said this to myself as I was watching the episode again this morning. This is a lesson for a lot of other entrepreneurs, Black entrepreneurs, but just entrepreneurs in general. Seeing what Pinky was able to build and what she's trying to salvage, you could learn a lot from this journey. And also understanding that bankruptcy isn't necessarily bad. It's not a bad thing. We just saw Pat McGrath filed for a Chapter 11 bankruptcy as well. So there's a lot to be learned that it's not necessarily the end of your business. It's not the end of your entrepreneurial ventures. And I say it's important for everyone to learn this now because we've seen a height in people becoming entrepreneurs since the pandemic. People are working for themselves now. And now that you're working for yourself, these are things that you need to understand and learn. You can't just have people handling all of your business. You need to make sure you have the right people handling your finances, your taxes, your accounting, your CFO. And if you don't understand, there are options out there. Your business is not over. And look at Pinky showing us the real. She's showing us her rise. And some people might not like the way she talks about herself and it's like, I am a major entrepreneur. I did this, I did that. No, she needs to talk her talk, because people like her have inspired other entrepreneurs. As I said before, you've seen a rise in entrepreneurs over the pandemic. People are now working for themselves, and they're probably going through this, or maybe haven't gone through this yet, because maybe they still are launching their business and their business will go through changes. And I think from watching this, they will learn. I hope this will come up. Tools for Life. I did see this. Tools for Life says Pinky isn't ethical. She did not pay her employees. She's not being honest. I'm wondering if this will come up, because that is an accusation that's out there as well. Right now, it's an accusation. We shall see. If anything, it should definitely come up at the reunion so that she can respond to it, or whoever interviews her next should ask that question in regards to the accusations about that. Okay? All right. Moving on. Hold on, y'all. All right. And if you haven't already, guys, be sure to like the video. Easy free. We'll get back to Pinky's story after these messages from our sponsor, RHOA. I know you're probably tired of hearing people say, new year, new me. However, it can be a new year and a new you. Everyone is trying to get back into the gym. They're trying to do some weight loss things. You may have also heard of GLP-1s. Our friends over at RHOA has gotten you covered with the new GLP-1 pill. The pill is a new, more convenient and approachable way to GLP-1s if you've been thinking about it. A self-administered shot can be a bit intimidating. But now there's a pill that delivers comparable results. If you've been thinking about getting on a GLP-1, RHOA might be the way to do it. They have 100% online care, access to clinically proven, FDA-approved medications, free insurance checks, side effects management, dosing support, and more. RHOA offers the first FDA-approved GLP-1 pill for weight loss at the lowest cost around. The new GLP-1 pill has the same weight loss ingredient as the shot and packs comparable results to the shot. It can help patients lose 14% of their body weight in a year on average. This is based on a study in non-diabetics with obesity or overweight plus a weight-related condition with diet and exercise. You may have also seen Serena Williams talk about collaborating and endorsing RHOA as well. As a world-class athlete, she also wanted to drop pounds after having children. If I had needed this particular option, this is what I would use. A pill versus a shot? Why not? Go to ro.co/KEMPIRE to see if you're eligible for the new GLP-1 pill on RHOA. That's ro.co/KEMPIRE to get started on RHOA. Go to ro.co/safety for box warning and full safety information about GLP-1 medication. More details on your discount and more will be available in the description. And we're back. Again, more information on all of our sponsors. And don't forget, everything Kempire will be available in the description. All right. So back to our recap of the Real Housewives of Atlanta. I see you guys are saying that she's being sued by former employees. Here's the thing. She did put, at least in this scene, that the CFO, because we have to keep in mind too, is Pinky the one handling people's paychecks? I don't know. I don't know the structure of her business. This is not me defending Pinky. She should pay her employees. But did she put someone in place that's supposed to be handling those things and they didn't do it? We don't know until those questions are asked. Wave Keith says, but when Rachel Zoe brags about about the has-been celebrity she style, not has-been celebrities, she style is appreciated. Yeah, I mean, it's important to note that. Mars says that she's being sued by her past employees. Again, we shall see what her response is to that. I've seen those stories in regards to that. She didn't mention that in this scene in regards to the lawsuits that she's facing. She mentioned one was with alcohol license and one was showing a fight without the license for that. J.I., thank you so much for another super. J.I. says, no scene with Kelli, and we all cheered. Thank you for the super chat, J.I. Ron Rockstar, thank you so much for the super chat. Ron Rockstar says, happy Taurus season, Kemp. Would you date a Capricorn? Capricorn is supposed to be a Taurus's ideal match. I have dated a Capricorn, and we had a lot in common. It just didn't work, though. It just didn't work. This is why it's important to know someone's full birth chart, not just their sun sign. I don't have a lot of Capricorns around me, though, which is surprising. You would think I would. The informed, thank you for the super chat, says, did Shamia joke she wanted to retire them? Ma'am. Yeah, I skipped over that part because you saw how she backpedaled and was like, maybe not retire us. I was like, all right, Shamia. She's just cringy all the time. Fit Gal Tia, thank you so much for the super chat. Fit Gal says, Kelli in that purple looks like death becomes her. We're not even talking Kelli, but we did see Kelli when they were talking about K. Michelle's tweets and stuff like that. We did get her in that. I guess she was technically in the episode. All right, we're going to block Mr. Melon Magic. He says, let's say a prayer. It's demon season, a.k.a. Taurus. Let's put him on a timeout. Can we put him on a timeout? Well, Amara says, don't ask Kempire about your sign unless you want slander. Did I slander Capricorns? I didn't slander Capricorns. Vicky says, no, block them. Ooh. Kai says, Kempire, what sign haven't you dated? I don't know. When you say dated, look, I sound like Drew now. When you say dated, what do you mean? When you say dated, what do you mean? Just saying. All right. Moving on, let me get back to my notes, guys. If you're just joining us, we're talking about the latest episode of the Real Housewives of Potomac. Potomac? No. Not Potomac. Real Housewives of Atlanta. Potomac is currently filming, though. All right, so back to the scene with Pinky. So Pinky gets really emotional. She's updating us on the lawsuits that she's facing. The CFO took her money. She's getting sued every which way. So this is the first time where she reveals that she's thinking about filing for bankruptcy. And as the season ended, we saw that she did file for bankruptcy, Chapter 11 bankruptcy. And she has not told her husband, Derek, about the bankruptcy yet. And she says the bankruptcy is the only way to start fresh because of the debt from the old company. Because remember, there was the company that she had, then she lost the company for 40-something days, and then she bought back the company. So she says she's trying to reorganize. That's the whole point of Chapter 11 bankruptcy. So she's trying to reorganize her business. So many people do this when necessary, and she feels like this is a necessary step to save her business. Because obviously her business is viable. She just expanded probably a little too quickly and probably had the wrong people in place. Not everyone's, that's the thing. And then anyone can, we're talking about real estate and stuff like that. People are not going to value your business or your real estate the same way that you do because it's yours. And if anything, you want people that value the business. And this is why sometimes in businesses, you've seen it with Starbucks and companies like that, they'll give you stock into the business so that you feel invested in the business. And maybe that's something that she should do with Slutty Vegan so that people feel invested in the business so they're not stealing. They'll probably still steal. But all right. Hey, Marsha. Marsha says, blessings and love, Kempire from the 6th, Toronto. I would have understood what you said. I'm down. Canada, what's going on? Hey. All right, my mother and sister is a Taurus. Cheryl, what are you? My mother and sister? I'm the only Taurus in my family. Uh-oh, wait, did they block you, Mr. Melon Magic? You had to go on Twitch? Did we block? Did they block you? They should have. You had to go on Twitch. See, I got a stalker, y'all. Block him on everything. KJ says, block him. One of my children is a Taurus. I love the energy most of the time. Oh, they muted you? That's what you get. Thank you, mod. Shout out to our King's Guards. They muted him. Now we need, who's a mod on Twitch so we can mute him there too? Guys, I will go live this evening on TikTok to talk about Real Housewives of Atlanta. We do that during the day, I go live here on multiple platforms to recap Real Housewives of Atlanta. And then in the evening, if I remember, I will go live on TikTok. But I will go live tonight on TikTok to talk about it. Everyone says, not Roger, but he has different names on different platforms. He is my stalker. Just for the love of, for Selena. Just saying. So y'all know who it is right there. We never seen his real face. We don't know his real name. In YouTube, he's called Mr. Melanin Magic. On TikTok, he's called Roger. On Twitch, he's called Roger Bob. Just saying. Just saying. He's not going to be the president of my fan club. Yolanda. I'm very wary of people. Y'all already know. I'm very wary of people. So part of me is being facetious, but part of me is like, I'm telling the people, I am not. Just putting it out there. Okay, putting it out there. Oh, Angel's a mod on. Yes, mute him. Mute him. Mute him, Angel. I'm being serious. Mute him. He said something very derogatory about us Tauruses. He said it's demon season. Dion says TikTok, he's always there. Okay, Yolanda. All right, can we focus? All right, let's focus, y'all. Hey, right, Danielle. Danielle's been an OG. She remembers. She says, we're not going through this again, Camp. Because she knows that part of the reason why I moved. Not that we had a real, but I don't play with that stuff. I'm just saying. I'm very wary of people. I'm not saying that's what Mr. Melanin Magic or Roger really is doing, but I'm just saying. I'm just paying attention. Am I being sensitive? Am I being a Pisces right now? I'm not crying, though. Vicky says, me either. I'm a Taurus. Vicky, shout out to all the Tauruses. Happy Taurus season, y'all. Happy 420 day. Let me get back to this. All right, so let's move on from... I say all I have to say about Pinky. I think this episode really just solidified why I think Pinky is a good addition this season. Will she be a good addition in the long run? I don't know. We shall see. Do I love everything about Pinky? Not necessarily. But I don't watch these shows wanting to love every single person on the show. I really don't have any faves on any of these shows like that. Unless, no, that's not true. Because there are certain people that make me laugh. Like on Rhode Island. I really love Alicia on Rhode Island. Mary Cosby. Do I love her all the time? No. But she makes me laugh on Salt Lake City. On this show, do I have a fave? I don't have a fave on Atlanta or Potomac. I don't have a fave. Not to the point where I'm like, oh my God, I love them. No. I love certain things that people do, like Stacey on Potomac, but no. But anyway. Exactly. Jan says Tauruses love our privacy. Yeah, and not being stalked. All right. Okay, Winter says Pinky grew on me this episode because she kept it a buck. All right. Move on. Let's move on. So we can get to the... Damn, I have a lot more to talk about. All right. Buckle up. See, this is part of the reason why I also decided not to do Rhode Island on the same day, because I didn't want to feel like I was rushing it. We will be recapping Real Housewives of Rhode Island tomorrow during our Tuesday takeover, along with other pop culture stories and maybe some other reality TV stuff. Aisha, thank you so much for being a member for 42 months. That is a long time. Thank you so much. Aisha says, Taurus power, my B-day is Friday. Happy early birthday, Aisha. All right? Oh, here go Deborah. Deborah's trying to be shady. Deborah says, you absolutely loved Candy. Really? Okay. Exactly. Lisa says, give them horns. They don't realize that. Danny says, still not feeling Pinky. I can see it. Look, it's okay. It's okay. I think from a producer aspect, I can see why she's a good addition. Exactly. Chris says, take your time, Kempire. Give us all your thoughts. That's why I didn't want to do 2 recaps in a day, because then I feel rushed. I'm like, oh, I need to go take a break. And then when they bring it back to Black Sundays, we'll bring back our Black Mondays. You know what I mean? So Rhode Island will be tomorrow, okay? And maybe tomorrow will be more about Rhode Island, because I have a lot more to say. But stay tuned. Here you go, Letitia. Letitia said, nah, he loved Portia. Y'all are shady in the chat. Y'all are shady. All right, let's move on to this Cynthia, K. Michelle, and Pinky meetup. So I thought this was a cute scene. So K. Michelle says that Pinky and her are sorors. They both are part of the Delta sorority. Okay. K. Michelle says that she ends up getting a little of that watermelon juice with some vodka. Here's the thing, Pisces. And I was just saying this to my Virgo friend the other day because he has a Pisces friend too. Pisces, and I know this because I know a lot of Pisces. Y'all got to be careful with the drink. Y'all like a good drink. But sometimes it can be too much, meaning like you're drinking too much. So y'all got to be careful. I know a lot of Pisces, and I noticed a trend with some of the Pisces. Y'all like to drink, and I'm not just talking about drinking. Oh, I like a drink. No, y'all like to get drunk, blackout drunk, and drunk all the time. Y'all got to be careful. You're prone to like substance abuse. Y'all got to be careful. I'm not saying anything about K. Michelle. I'm not saying, because I don't see that with K. Michelle, and I don't see that because Cynthia's a Pisces too. But they all like to drink. They all like to drink. See? What Beth says, as a Pisces, I agree. We love a little nip. We love a little nip. Okay? All right. Just saying. Look, Jermaine says facts coming from a Pisces. Do I not know my Pisces? Y'all think. Oh, damn. Ooh. Jermaine says, I passed the blackout stage, but you had a period of doing that, right? Some of y'all haven't, though. I work for y'all. I do say to my Pisces people, I'm like, y'all gotta be careful with that. Just saying. But our Queen Shamama says, yes, and I'm a Pisces. I love my tequila, but I'm the healed version, so I also know my limits. Just saying. Okay? Okemia says that K. Michelle was drunk on Jason Lee's, but she seemed in control. She didn't seem drunk. Okay? That's true. Miss Alex says water signs in general. I'm a Scorpio, and I watch my intake. That's true. But I notice it with Pisces. I feel like Pisces, unhealed Pisces don't know when to stop. So you gotta be careful. All right. This is if you're new here, you're probably y'all talk a lot about astrological signs. We do. It's a science. It's a science. Okay. Look, Velda says, "Oh no, I hate a hangover. I've never been drunk. I've never had a hangover. I don't even know what that feels like. I don't want to know what that feels like. I know at my big age, never. I always say that I think in a past life I may have been a Pisces and I was a drunk. Oh, no. I feel like in a past life I probably was a lush and all get out. Like I did all the things. So in this life, I was like, I'm not doing any of the things. I am not prone to any of it. Just saying. All right. Okay, so we are on so many deflections and sidebars today. Can we focus? All right. Okay, Michelle gets her drink. She says she thinks that she's entitled to getting a little bit of a drink because she said after my ass popping out of the back. I was like, okay. This is what K. Michelle's great for. Her commentary is really funny and cute. So then they react to K. Michelle's tweets. And we remember this live and in living color. We were like, who is she calling a bimbo? What happened during filming? We had no idea that she was talking about Portia. So this is why I say this season of Atlanta feels a little campy. It feels a little like it's a scripted show. Because then they do this whole toxic tweets by K. Michelle. And they go through all the tweets. All the women are reading K. Michelle's tweets. And she calls someone on the cast a bimbo. She literally says, bimbos are the loudest and most confident. Shut your face. Who would have thought after that pedicure scene that she would have went to do this? But she probably went home and thought to herself, was she trying to set me up the way that she set up Kelli? Maybe. I could see her doing that. All right. Cindy says it's giving T-Mobile. Let me tell y'all a story. Can we take another sidebar real quick before we get to K. Michelle's toxic tweets? So I live in a building, and I noticed on my phone, y'all know I got Verizon. I don't have great reception in the building. And then we have this community group chat. And the community group chat someone had the same question. They have Verizon too. And they're like, I have this issue. And then sometimes my calls drop out. Why? And look at me telling on myself. Why did someone in the chat say, yeah, I was having the same issue and I had to switch to T-Mobile? What? I had to switch to T-Mobile. And look, for those that have T-Mobile, it's a running joke here on the channel. But I understand in certain places, T-Mobile is better than most. But I was taken back. I was like, not T-Mobile. So did I switch to T-Mobile? No, I'm sticking with my Verizon and my drop calls. Okay. I don't make that many calls anyway. I might need to switch to T-Mobile, y'all. I might just switch to T-Mobile, and I might have to make an ad. I might have to co-create an ad where I tell this story again, and I'm like, and I switched to T-Mobile. Just clip this T-Mobile and just use it as an ad, but pay me my money. Pay me my money. Jermaine says, kept clutched his pearls. I said, you did what? Yo, wait.
You did what?
She said she had to switch to T-Mobile and she hasn't had an issue since. Should I switch to T-Mobile, y'all? I hear it's cheaper too, and you guys got all kinds of benefits. Oh. Oh, man. See, look, I didn't have to tell y'all that story. I could have still ran with the narrative that Verizon is the best. But I said, I'm going to have to tell this story at some particular point. Don't forget the apology. I'm not apologizing at all. All right, back to this. Back to our Real Housewives of Atlanta recap. Oh, Lene says, port your number so that you don't lose it. No, I think I need to change my number. Did I tell you guys the story of the woman calling me randomly? And she sounded inebriated? And she knew my name. But I don't know how she got my number. So I think it is time that I change my number. I've had my number for a very long time. I have two different numbers. I have my business phone, but I also have my personal. And I think it's time that I do switch my number, to be honest. Yeah. I didn't tell y'all about the lady that called me and she sounded inebriated. I forgot what she said. I played it for Taria and she said something crazy. I was like, and I just kept on getting signs. It might be time to change my number. Look, it might be time to. So maybe I will switch to T-Mobile and get a whole new number. Yeah. Oh, that's going to be like a Club KEMPIRE conversation because maybe I'll play the actual voice message because I still got it. Sometimes you got to keep those voice messages. In this day and age, you just never know. Oh. Way of Key says T-Mobile is vindicated. Clearly, the sound issue in the back room is because of your right. What sound issue in the back room? What are you talking about? T Taught You says, I got Verizon and I'm sitting here with one bar as we speak. T, where do you live? T, in what city do you live? I just need to know. In what city? I blame the building. Here go Wave Keys. He says, maybe that was your old side chick, KEMPIRE. I ain't never been with a woman. Even that summer that I was bisexual. No, I'm not Karen. Y'all said it was Karen. Wait a minute. No, the number wasn't from the DMV. Y'all are hilarious. I was like, wait a second. Was it Karen? Y'all. Can we focus? Oh, now the back of my head's tightening again. Y'all are hilarious today. It's not, honestly, it sounded like Karen. That's all I'm thinking. I gotta go listen back to the voice message. Should I play it here for you guys? No, I'm not doing that. Michelle says that T-Mobile's the best. Okay. Miss Alex says, Kemp, you a virgin? OMG. God says, I was going to say, what about that buy for summer? Who said anything happened? Okay. Who said that? Y'all are a fool in the chat. And if you're listening to the podcast version of this, it might be worth it for you to go and watch the replay of the chat because even I miss some of the things that are said in the chat. Okay, I can't see everything. We have 2,000 people watching, so I can't see everything. Brendan says KEMPIRE, a.k.a. Blue Eyes. Goodbye, all of you. I'm not done. Let's talk about this scene. So this was actually a really cute scene. So they go through K. Michelle's toxic tweets. And bimbos are the loudest and most confident. Shut your face. K. Michelle in her confessions was like, I'm going to say what I'm going to say on X. You better be careful, though, K. Michelle. They will dock your pay. They did it to Candace. Candace said that because she liked certain tweets and posted certain tweets, they took nearly like $30,000 from her. Okay? It was nearly $30,000 they took from Candace for her tweets. So K Michelle said she told Portia about what's been going on with her. And I don't know the full understanding of what was said in those conversations. I don't know if Portia just wasn't paying attention, because I can see Portia not paying attention either, or not associating what K Michelle went through with what she went through recently. All right. So apparently the bimbo that K Michelle was talking to a few months ago, it was Portia. Okay. So K Michelle in her head is thinking, this dingbat, and says she realized that she then thought to herself when she went home was Portia trying to set her up, very much like what she did with Kelli. Maybe. I didn't think about that until K Michelle said, and I was like, oh, wait a minute. Was Portia doing that? But I really don't think Portia was, to be honest. I don't think Portia was being shady in this moment. I also don't think that Portia is going to come for K Michelle like that. At least not in the beginning of the season. I think she's keeping her beef with Kelli. So Cynthia defends Portia, and she says, I think Portia may have misspoke. Okay? I think Portia may have misspoke. And I have to agree with that too. I do think that Portia I think Portia doesn't have social cues. I do think Portia is less than smart. I do think, and I'm not making excuses for Portia. Portia should do better. I think Portia bring up the miscarriage randomly. Even if it was a miscarriage, I don't think I would have said that. I would let K Michelle say it. You know what I mean? So Cynthia thinks that, first of all, Cynthia's confessional, she looks stunning. That hair. I don't like the way that Cynthia looked in the scene, but the confessional, the hair, the dress, I was like, all right, Cynthia, we see you. All right. K Michelle then talks about, she asked Cynthia, she's like, why does Phaedra all she do is giggle? And then they flash back to these different moments with Phaedra giggling. I love that moment. I thought that was hilarious that K Michelle called Phaedra out for that. K Michelle does like Phaedra. She talks about that in recent interviews. But wouldn't you do that if you're new in a friend group and you're noticing things about people? She don't say nothing. She just be giggling. That's because Phaedra's never going to give you the real Phaedra. Phaedra refuses to open up to... Look, I appreciate the humor in this moment, but I'm going to break down the reality of it. Phaedra's never going to give you a real moment. Phaedra's always going to give you performative. Phaedra is not going to be real with you. She's not going to tell you your secrets. She's just going to sit there and be like, oh, yes. That's all she's going to give you. That's it. So I just thought it was funny that K Michelle pointed it out. I was like, oh... So Pinky says that Phaedra is spreading rumors that she's eating meat. So apparently Pinky used to eat meat, and she had a different business before this where she was selling ribs. And look, because Pinky says she's on the board of PETA. So if she started selling meat now, I'd be like, that's weird. But to me, if Pinky wasn't on the board of PETA and she was selling meat and she was doing something vegan, I'm like, she's a serial entrepreneur. She's vegan herself, but she's also married to someone that eats meat. I don't see anything wrong with it, but apparently Pinky takes it very serious because she's on the board of PETA, and she doesn't like the fact that Phaedra is going around spreading rumors that Pinky eats meat. I don't know. I feel like this is a little bit of a reach. I feel like it's a reach on everyone's part. I feel like it's a reach in regards to Pinky being upset about it and that Phaedra's spreading a rumor. I think Phaedra may have been being funny, maybe, but I get why Pinky might be upset. I'm twerking on a fence, y'all. I'm twerking on a fence because I feel like it's a reach. I feel like it's someone trying to produce some sort of storyline, trying to produce some beef between them. And I don't even know if it's them that's producing the beef. But I get it. Pinky, don't be spreading rumors that I'm eating meat because I am on the board of PETA. So that's bad for business. But at the same time, I feel like maybe Phaedra was being facetious. I don't feel like it was that deep because it is a fact that she used to sell ribs and stuff like that. But there's a lot of people. My sister used to be vegan. She's not vegan anymore. I think she's like pescatarian. But she used to eat meat before. Jamaican. It's not surprising to me that Pinky may have eaten meat before and that now she's vegan. You get what I mean? I don't know. I feel like it's a bit of a reach. Lori Ann says, Kemp, you in a twerking mood today. Apparently so was Shamia. Okay, she wasn't twerking, but why is she showing people her bum? We'll get to it. The Mellow reacts says, it's Shamia spreading the false information. Phaedra didn't say that. You're right. And maybe we'll get more clarity on that on next week's episode because I feel like somebody's lying and I don't feel like it's Pinky. And for the first time, I don't know if it's Phaedra lying. All right. LW says it's definitely giving reach. All right. So I'm not the only one. Because I was like, wait, why? Because I feel like Phaedra may have said that facetiously. That Mrs. Rumbum, TJ. Oh, Superstar 7 says Pinky never stopped eating meat, but I digress. What do you know, 7? What do you know? 7, I need you to elaborate. She says Pinky never stopped eating meat. Hold on. Let me put on my glasses and put it on the tip of my nose like Dr. Eugene. Look. Okay. What do you mean she stopped? But now that you guys say that when they flash back, it was Shamia. It was Shamia the one that's spreading that information. And based on what we've seen of Shamia this season, it feels like Shamia is trying to cause issues in a bunch of different friendships. I never thought about it. Now that you say that. Did you guys see the clip of Shamia complaining to her friend? Did you guys see that clip where she was complaining? We played it on one of the previous lives that we did. She was complaining to her friend, about everyone is mean to her this season and blah, blah, blah. And Shamia, girl, this is your second season being a full-time housewife. This is not your first time at a reality television. You couldn't tell, though. You couldn't tell. Kay says, she said that about Phaedra. I thought about you, Kempire. Ooh, yes. Excuse me, y'all. Excuse me. Lord, allergies. The pollen is crazy right now. I had to take out my glasses, y'all. All right. Oh, it's a beautiful picture of Aaliyah in your profile picture. All right. Let me say thank you, guys. We're almost at 1,000 likes. If you are a Royal Court member or a senior royal, I've already dropped the call link for you guys. If you are a Team Kempire member, I'm going to drop the call link for you guys in just a second. SK, thank you so much for the super chat. SK says, Shamia is interesting to watch on other platforms like YouTube and interviews. It just falls flat on RHOA. What do you think the disconnect is? Maybe the edit? Maybe production doesn't like her? I don't know. I don't think production doesn't like her. I don't know if I believe that. I don't know. I don't know what it is. But I also don't know if I agree with you that she's more interesting on other platforms. Because we saw her on YouTube and she wasn't that great. Remember? Tania, thank you for the super chat. Let me shimmy. And thank you for being a member. Shout out to all the members. I really should pull up the members list and say thank you to all the members. But Tania, thank you so much for being a member and for the $20 super chat. Tania says, I love the scene with Pinky and Kay. We don't get too many scenes when they are supporting each other in their marriages. She gave her great advice. Thanks for your time. Yes, they flash back to the sit down between Pinky and Kay because Pinky tells Kay that she hasn't told her husband yet about filing for bankruptcy. How do you guys feel about that? It's not like she wasn't going to tell him, but she hadn't told him. The thing is, we have to remember, she is an entrepreneur. That's her business. Yes, she's in a marriage and she's filing, and it's important to note, she's saying that she's filing for bankruptcy as a business, not personally. So I definitely think she should tell him, clearly. But she hasn't told him, at least not in this week's episode, that she's filing for bankruptcy. And I think based on what she said, and a lot of people probably can relate to Pinky, especially as a Black woman, being the strong one, being the strong friend, being the one that people always rely on. So what's Pinky's sign? Oh, she's Sagittarius. Sorry. She's a Sagittarius. Okay. So your finest auntie, thank you so much for the super chat. Your finest auntie, and for being a member, says, not the grand drunk, actually drunk Darling Kemp. Stop, y'all. Stop. But now it makes me wonder, does she got a Texas number? Does she have a Texas number? Just you never know. There are people in New York that have other state numbers. So, J.I., thank you so much for another super chat. Let me just shimmy for J.I. because he sent a few super chats. Let me shimmy for J.I. J.I. says, Kay said that she was bullied in Atlanta by other women. But here we are with Kay bullying Portia with her tweets. Oh, my God. What? You think it was bullying? And not directly addressing Portia. Hypocrisy. The issue is Kay spending more time with Shamia and Kelli. Oh, wait a minute. Do you think that's what's happening? Way of Keith, thank you so much for being a member for the super chat. Way of Keith says, Portia wasn't being shady, she was being slow. Who asked someone if they had a marriage a miscarriage so abruptly? Also, I appreciate that Portia knows her cat is fast. Can't spray her with her own tea. My God, I can't. These super chats. Lord have mercy. Right? JL is reading. Here go. We didn't mute him. Look, we didn't mute Roger Bob on Twitch. Or you were mute him for a hot second, Angel. Yeah, she should definitely tell her husband. And eventually she does tell her husband. Oh, yeah. Elle says the pollen overload equals too many male trees. Look, look, men effing it up again, huh? Lord. Hey, Melissa. Melissa's watching always on Facebook. Guys, don't forget to follow me on Facebook. Who follows me, the Kempire, on Facebook? Who follows me? Let me know. And if you're not, you should follow me on Facebook. Melissa says Karen could have a burner phone. Now I need to go back and listen to the voice note. The voicemail, I should say. Charnel says, Kemp, will you be talking about K. Michelle tweeting you? We did. Let me actually go pull up the tweet. I can't remember what she said. Hold on, wait a minute. What did K. Michelle say? Did she tweet me more than once? K. Michelle has followed me for years, y'all. So this is not a new relationship on social media with K. Michelle. Okay, so she's followed me. Oh, damn, I don't follow her on X back. Look. Should I follow her back? I do follow her on Instagram. She followed me on Instagram. That's how I knew she was definitely joining RHOA, because she randomly followed me on Instagram before the season started. All right, let me see. Where's my tweet? Where's the tweet? Where's my tweet? Oh, here it is. Here it is. Here it is. She did tweet me. Hold on. I did see the tweet last night, y'all, and I liked the tweet, okay? I did like the tweet. This is a mess. Let me bring up the tweet here, y'all. This is going to be a good long recap. We're already at how many hours have we been recording? Hold on, y'all. Let me pull up the tweet. Here's the tweet. Let me pull up the tweet. All right. What did she say to me? What did she say to me? Okay. I was almost 2 hours we've been talking about Real Housewives of Atlanta. All right. So I posted a tweet last night because I live tweet when I'm watching. I live tweet and I do threads too. And I said, now we know who K. Michelle was calling a bimbo. But I also think K. Michelle is extra sensitive. Portia just says whatever comes to her mind. I don't think she was being shady. Hashtag RHOA. So K. Michelle says, she retweets my post and says, I agree. I'm super sensitive. I love extra hard. I'm just not the person to say anything to. I agree with that in regards to, I don't know if I could be friends with K. Michelle, because I feel like anything that I say, she's going to take it in another way. And I don't walking on eggshells with friendship. Okay. And that's very Pisces of her. She says, I pay attention and take in everything around me. I'm also not new to this. Trust, heart emoji. Okay. All right. She says, I'm not new to this. You're not, but I do notice a pattern that she's sensitive. She is very sensitive. All right. All right. Let's move on. Let me get back to my notes. All right. What else did I want to talk about in this scene? So then this is when they start talking about, Pinky says that, first of all, K. Michelle says she doesn't know a lawyer that doesn't practice law. So there are plenty, though, K. Michelle. I'm going to be honest with you. Someone that has worked with thousands of attorneys. There are a lot of attorneys that don't practice law. Okay. So she mentions that. Pinky mentions Phaedra saying that she eats meat. And I think she eats dead people. Pinky, was that supposed to be a clapback? Or are you serious? All right. I thought that was an interesting response. All right. Pinky isn't sure if she can trust these women with her secrets. All right. And they flash back to a conversation that she had with K. Michelle about her bankruptcy. So K. Michelle knew about her bankruptcy before her husband. As a partner, I would be a little upset that this reality show production, these other women know about your bankruptcy before me, your life partner, your husband, the father of your children. I would probably feel a way about that. Maybe that's my Cancer rising, being a little sensitive. But how would you feel that I look back and watch this? K. Michelle knew about your bankruptcy before I did? And look, some of you probably tell your girlfriends things about what's going on in your life before you tell your husband. Maybe that's okay. I'm not going to say and deny that I wouldn't feel a way about it. Okay. Forever Tyranny says, Pinky said it twice. It was so lame about eating dead people. RC says, I thought it was a weird response. There is a little bit of a weirdness about Pinky. And we've noticed that with even her response to the bankruptcy on social media, her skits and stuff like that. She kind of borders on cringe for me, like Shamia. So I'm not sure. I'm not sure. She's borderline cringe for me, Pinky. I just want to say that. Okay, Wave Key says, that's the Taurus sun being logical. I would feel offended. See? Kai says, Kemp, are you so sensitive? My people are telling me, TJ says, no, that's Principal Kemp. See? Just saying. I don't think I'm sensitive like that. I think we're all sensitive on some level. I think certain people are just more sensitive than others. So there is a sensitive part to me, but I don't think I'm that sensitive. Sometimes I think I'm cold. All right, maybe not cold. I'm not cold. I'm a Taurus. We're warm. To the right people. We're cold to people that we don't know. Millie says, Pinky comes off as insecure. We're going to talk about that. Let me move on. Let me also drop the call link for the members. Did I drop? No, I didn't. Hold on. Let me drop the call link for all of our members. I dropped it off for our Royal Court and Senior Royals live chat. Let's get to 1,200 likes, and I'll drop the call link for the general audience as well. I'm already sure our members have a lot to say, so I don't think we'll be at a loss of callers. Okay, we already have a line of the Royal Court members and Senior Royals backstage. All right, let me move on. So Pinky says that she's tired of being the strong friend, and I felt for Pinky in that moment. This week's episode really made me look at Pinky a little bit in a different way. So she just says she's tired of being the strong friend, and there are so many people. There are people that we've lost that we should be checking in on in regards to they're always the strong friend. And a lot of times we're always saying, hey, how are you? And then we move on and not really being, and that's why they say we shouldn't just say, how are you? We should ask more in-depth questions when we say that. So we should be checking in on our people. And Pinky's husband should be checking in on her. All right. Now Mr. Melon Magic is back. Mute him again. No, I'm playing. All right, let's move on from that scene. So Drew goes on a date with Black. Black looks better in person than he did on the phone because on the phone he looked like Kodak Black. But fine. He brings her, how many dozen roses were that? That seemed like it was like at least 3 or 4 dozen roses. They were beautiful though. He comes, he brings her roses. I'm guessing this is a date. At one particular point we see him rubbing her leg. He's looking at her leg. He's flirting with her. He says, I also got gift for the kids. I don't know if you want me to give it to them or you're going to give it to them. I'm like, okay. And he talks about the possibilities of what they could have. At no point, though, did he say relationship. He said friends, friendship, or friends with benefits. Huh? But then he says she's not, he talks about her extended divorce. So she's been divorcing for 3 years. He says that Drew doesn't give girlfriend material, she gives wife material. But he can't marry her if she's still married to Ralph. I don't know about this situation at all. He does say that Drew is like his best friend. So obviously that these two are dating on some level. I don't know what they're doing. I don't know if they're just getting it in or maybe they are friends with benefits. But again, Drew is downplaying that. Drew is, we could be friends. But Drew, the way that Drew's making this relationship seem is that he's flirting with her, but she's not taking him serious. Like he's just a friend. We hang out, we cuddle, that kind of thing. Y'all believe that? I don't believe that. I believe they're getting it in. I believe she's getting a D. I think this is a fun time. But here's the thing. Tauruses are sometimes hard to get to know because we don't open up just to anyone. So I could see that aspect of Drew. Maybe she hasn't slept with this man, or maybe she just hooked up with this man, but she's not taking him serious. I don't know. Letitia says they're talking. Maybe, but maybe she doesn't take him serious. That's the energy I'm getting. RC says he's a love bomber. It's a little scary. You think? I don't know. Coco says while the man is in the basement, I hope they're not doing any of that at her house that she's getting kicked out of. next month. Just saying. Reminding y'all about the stories. Okay. All right. Ateka says she did the same thing with Ty Young, only for this season, her accusing Portia of stealing her life. But also, Tauruses are notoriously private. You know what I mean? All right. Ashley says she wants Ty. You think she's holding out for Ty Young? Isn't Ty in a whole other relationship now? Yeah, I feel like Ty is always with somebody. Oh, Fish Eye Jedi says Black's teeth looks better than he does. His teeth look a little too perfect. They look a little too chiclety for me. But that's me. They don't look real. Just saying. All right, moving on. Let's move on from this date. I'm glad we can. Oh my God, I still have many. Okay, so Angela takes her daughter, Amari, to go look at this new property. So she's investing in a new property. She's reflecting. She said this was like an emotional purchase. It was only $159 she spent on it. Okay? Only $159 that she spent on it. Her daughter is looking at the property. She's like, this is not like something that you usually would buy. I didn't think the property looked that bad. Did y'all think the property, I mean, it didn't even look like much of a fixer-upper. Her daughter was complaining about the spiders. I was like, all you need is a good exterminator to come in there and you're spider-free. I don't feel like it was a bad property. She did not invest that much money into it. You fix that sucker up, I'm sure you could sell it and make a couple of dollars. She literally said if she makes $1, she's happy. It's my hope that she would want to make more, but yeah. Here's the thing. You can never go wrong getting into real estate and investing in real estate. Yes, there might be times where you will lose money, but for the most part, it's a really good business to get into and invest in. And especially if you're in Georgia, and you're making good money, you could definitely get good properties and sell them and things like that. So I'm not worried for Angela. I think that's just a part of her storyline. And I think they were trying to be over the top with the reaction to the property, but the property did not look that bad. MB says, no way. Too many spiders. I mean, it's also Georgia and then the middle of summer. I don't think so. You get a good exterminator in there and they will be fine. Okay? Oh, Way of Keith said, it's Georgia, Way of Keith. You thinking New York prices. Way of Keith says $159K for a home in this economy must be in the hood. No, come on. I don't know what neighborhood it was in. Did they tell us in the houses? Oh, no. Oh, hold on. Maureen, isn't Decatur a good neighborhood? A good area? Maureen says the house is in Decatur. Food for Thought says the property was fine. Yeah. Ooh, Kai says Amari needs to worry about why her mom is feeding her guest grapes, chicken wings, and sauces from the plant. Oh, Kai said Amari needs to worry about why her mom is feeding her guests grapes, chicken wings, and sauces from the plastic. Oh, it said Decatur? Okay, it was in Decatur. All right. See, I know nothing about Georgia areas, but isn't Decatur a decent neighborhood, a decent area, decent city? Exactly. Okay, hold on. Patricia says all of Decatur is not hood. Stop it. Okay, this is it. This is why I love when you guys weigh in. SA Unique says Decatur, certain parts are nice near Emory. And that's what I've heard. But like anywhere, like even New York, there are certain parts that are like even Manhattan. Manhattan has some nice areas and Manhattan has some bad areas. Just saying. Staten Island too. All right. Brooklyn too. All right, let's move on. So she gets emotional talking about her mom, Angela, during the scene. This was just, I think this house tour was to give us more story for Angela and what Angela has been going through. Like I said, this was an emotional purchase for her. She has not told or shown Charles this property. He's not involved in this property like that. She says that she told Charles that she's in contract with the house, but he has not seen the property. All right. Let's talk about Shamia meeting with her rum company. So she goes to her friend's space. I don't know what her friend does there, but apparently the friend introduced her to her lawyer. But the friend had a green beard and a green tie. Was it what? No, it's the summer, so it wasn't St. Patrick's Day. Why did her friend have a green beard? I didn't understand that, but okay. Her attorney at least did not have the green beard. Okay, so the attorney looked normal. Okay. Shamia meets with her attorney and the rum company that's going to be doing her rum. So she came up with this whole idea. She's going to do a molding of her derriere, her butt, her bum, and she's going to sell her rum that way. But it's going to be like a peach rum. But there are no peaches in Grenada. If you're from Grenada, is that true? Or are they just telling us this? It felt like they were trying to create like a challenge for her. They were trying to create a story. I don't know. If based on the rum company's handling of it, they were no. That shouldn't be we don't have peaches are not known in Grenada. However, it shouldn't be an issue for us to import it. Even though her attorney was like, well, now you're talking about import fees and things like that. I don't know. Obviously, Shamia did not do her research before coming to this meeting in regards to it. So she said she's going, I'm doing a peach rum. We're going to call it Rum Bum. And she gets up from her meeting with her business partners that are on Zoom and her attorney's right there, her new attorney. She gets up and she shows her bum. At first, I said she twerked, but she didn't really twerk when I rewatched the playback. I just assumed that she twerked because it's Shamia. But she got up during a business meeting and turned around and showed her butt to her attorney and to the entire family, including it looked like the patriarch that was there, her bum. And she's like, oh my God, so they're going to think I'm so unprofessional because you are. I was like, the Countess of Cringe continues. Like, Shamia, stop. Like, we don't need to see that.
Now at McDonald's, a McDouble is $2.50, so you can get your gym gains on. Or just get lunch for only $2.50. Get more value on the under $3 menu.
Limited time only. Prices and participation may vary. Prices may be higher for delivery.
Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
Okay. So the bottle will be a mold of her butt, but there's no peaches in Grenada, and importing peaches might be expensive. But it didn't seem that way. It didn't seem like it would be a challenge for the rum company. So then they start talking about the business, and she reminds them like, this is going to all be on me. So they talk about how much it would first start off with in regards to produce her bottles. It would be $30 starting for rum. And I had to Google schmoogle what's the going rate for rum? And yes, rum can get expensive. The most I saw was probably like $55. So she's already, and I'll give it to her. She didn't seem like she was bad at business, but that doesn't sound good at $30 because they're saying it would probably start at $30, but they're going to probably have to revisit like how much is that going to cost in regards to producing this rum, because if it's starting at $30, how much is it going to be on the shelf? She's going to have to at least it's going to be a premium rum. Because then now you're up in the, $55 range? I think, I don't know. How much you guys think? Some Ray and Nephew seem to be cheap. How much is Ray and Nephew? Jamaicans in the chat? How much is Ray and Nephew? Because I'd much rather get that than some peach rum. And we might have to get the peach rum, though, because I want to see what her rum look like. Her rum bum look like. But damn, Jermaine said that rum would be gathering cobwebs. Ocean V says Shamia acts so immature. Senior DSC says that's why Gerald ain't coming. That's why he wasn't sold on the business. Pay attention to him. If you're going to bring him there and you're asking him his advice, okay? Well, see, Miss Alex says, I'm not paying no $50 for rum. Gosh. Roger, she was talking about in Grenada, though. This is going to be produced in Grenada. Roger says that I thought peaches were everywhere in Georgia. Yeah, in Georgia, but not in Grenada, where the rum is going to be produced. Riz says, I'm not buying Shamia's rum bum. Her bum rum. Not her bum rum. OMG. Evelyn says, I think she needs to lower the price of her first rum line, then graduate to premium. You can get a good rum. I said hood. Good rum for $20, $30. And they're saying just to produce her rum is going to be $30. So she's going to have to charge more in order to make a profit. All right. Ray is $26 in Texas. I feel like you can get Ray. Look, I'm not buying Ray and Nephew like that. But I feel like back in the day, it's like $20. But okay, back in the day, $20. By now in 2026, I can see it being $26. $7 for a half pint of Ray and Nephew. I need to keep a bottle of Ray and Nephew in the house, only because in Jamaicans, we'll take it and we'll, when your chest a little congested, you rub it on your chest and you sniff a little bit of it. Yeah. Oh no, it's $35. Oh, it's $35 in the DMV. Damn, I might have to tell my mother to bring me some Ray and Nephew back from Jamaica. I need a bottle. As a Jamaican, I should have a bottle of it in my house. Ray is $22. Why is it so many different prices? Ray and Nephew rum is between $24 and $50 depending on the bottle size. Thank you, CC. All right, now y'all checking the Ray and Nephew prices. Yeah, Olympia says rum average price is between $15 and $30. Yeah, so coming out the gate where it's going to cost you $30 to produce the bottle is not going to be good, because how much you're going to charge for it on shelves. All right, we've already spent way too much time on her business acumen and the lack thereof. Oh my gosh. OMG. Thank you guys so much for the super chat. Thank you, Jay Washington, for the super chat and for being a member. Jay Washington says, Shamia, you can't shake your butt everywhere. Stop. Especially during a meeting. She can't help herself, though, y'all. But I told y'all this last season. I don't think this is going to change for Shamia, and I don't need her to change. Be yourself, but I can't change the fact that I am going to cringe every time that you are yourself. What? Hold on. RC says it was $69 for the 1.5 liter in Georgia, but that's big. 1.5 liters, but $69. All right. Rita Licious says she will have to charge at least $60. It's difficult and expensive to ship alcohol. Everybody want to be Bethany Frankel on Real Housewives. Lord have mercy. All right, let's move on because we have a couple more scenes. Let's talk about Pinky and Derek's date night. Pinky's husband. There is something about Pinky and Derek's relationship that is a little bit worrisome to me. I pointed it out last week, and I still feel that way. I feel like she pours into him more than he pours into her. Again, disclaimer, because some of you will get in your feelings like, Kempire, but we are watching an edited show, but we are also recapping a show. So I have to tell you what I feel on what I'm watching. I'm not saying that they have a terrible marriage, but what I'm saying, I'm seeing some flags, and I'm like, I'm a little concerned because I always feel like she's pouring into him. They get out the car, they're going into the restaurant, and she's, oh, so handsome. And did he say, and you look beautiful tonight? Maybe he did, and they edited it out. I don't know, but I didn't see it. So I didn't say it. All right. I'm only pointing that out because of later on in the conversation, because I feel like this scene was making up for the last scene. And it wouldn't shock me that they probably were like, yeah, that last scene that we did not go well, we might need to clean it up. And that's why we're getting this scene. And I don't feel like it cleans it up for me, because there's something else that's said during the scene that says to me red flags. I've been twerking on a fence. I've been doing a Shamia this entire recap when it comes to what's going on with these ladies. So Pinky and Derek, they are having their date night, all right? She asked him if he could do it all over again with her, would he? And at first, she doesn't understand what he says, because, wait, you wouldn't? It feels like she's always looking for reassurance from him. And that's it's giving, oh gosh, I hate to say this because I don't like calling anyone a pick me. It's giving pick me energy. And I'm putting it out here now so when we revisit maybe it later, okay? Because it's giving that. Because, like, why is that the question that you're asking on a date night? And maybe we wouldn't have said anything before if we didn't see the red flags from before. But I'm seeing some red flags, and I'm just like, it always feels like she's pouring into him and not the other way around. All right. So Pinky says that they were married for a year before they were ready to call it quits. Jay Washington says, Kempire, you got to get off the gate today. Pick a side. I'm twerking on that fence. So she says that they were together for a year. Remember, after 3 months of being together, she was pregnant. And then she's had a baby like the first 3 years of their marriage. And they got married very quickly. So she says after being together a year, they were headed down to the courthouse to get a divorce. And as she was getting out the car, he was like, you better not get out that car. So they ended up in the car praying, kissed each other, and went back home. Oh, hold on, wait a minute. I feel like there's an element to that story that we're missing. Why were we down at the courthouse together, ready to file for divorce? Yeah, I agree. Drea says the first year can be tough. But I'm noticing that it's not like it was just the first year. We're getting a lot of stuff, a lot of red flags from last week and now this week. When she's saying that she felt alone when she was going through what she was going through. And then he was like, well, you weren't alone, I was here. And she was like, spiritually. And then you notice out during this dinner, this date night, he talks like, I want to be there for you financially and spiritually. I feel like this was a cleanup scene, guys, from the last scene. Just see something, say something. So that stood out to me. Ding, ding, ding. They were together for a year. They went down to the courthouse. And she was about to get out the car. She was ready to file. He's, you better not get out that car. Okay, Tina. You better not get out that car. She gets back in the car. They kissed. They prayed, kissed, and went back home. Okay. All right. Look, I'm shaking. Look, okay. All right. Red flag. But Pinky says some people might say that they rushed into marriage and now they're dating after marriage. All right. There are some red flags in this marriage. I don't know, but you like it. I love it for you. Okay. Fine. Derek says that he wants to be there for Pinky, but she still doesn't tell him what's going on. She still doesn't tell him in this scene that she filed for bankruptcy. She says she's not really ready yet, but he wants to be her main support system. Again, I feel like this was a cleanup scene from the last scene. He says that he wants to be there financially for her and also spiritually. Mind you, he also is in the restaurant business and his restaurants are doing well. But he said he wants to be there for her. But Pinky says that what's going on with her is not his problem. I do think that she holds on to a lot of stuff for herself. So I feel like if I looked at her birth chart, I wouldn't be surprised if we saw some Taurus in there too. But Sagittarius, Sagittarius, weigh in. Is that a Sagittarius trait? Because it feels like she's holding on to a lot of stuff, but that's supposed to be your partner. I don't know, because I just feel like if she trusted him after 5 years of being together, kids and things like that, she would be like, she's already told like other people, you're already having conversations with your business partners or someone that's supposed to help you. I don't know. So I'm not sure what's happening here, but I'm keeping a close eye on it. Mary Jane, hey, Miss Mary Jane. Miss Mary Jane says, you can't keep secrets in your marriage if you want it to work. I don't know if it's necessarily a secret because she says she's definitely going to tell him, but when is she going to tell him? She done told everybody but him at this point. You know what I mean? Like she told K. Michelle, she told Cynthia, she told the attorney. When are you going to tell your husband, who's also in that business with you? Oh, Deborah says, absolutely a Sagittarius trait. Oh, wow. Amar says, my brother and dad are Sagittarius. They are very secretive. In a bad way or to protect you? All right. Now he humbles her. TMZZ says he humbles her. Yeah, that was a lot of people were reacting to that last week. A lot of people were reacting to that. All right, let me move on. Let's get to this last scene. So we get to this last scene. If you're just joining us, guys, I've been talking for 2 hours about the Real Housewives of Atlanta. If you haven't already, be sure to like the video. We're almost at 1,200 likes. Once we get to 1,200 likes, I will drop the call link for the general audience as well. If you're listening to the podcast version, which is a more cleaned up version. Namaste Jay says, Kemp, don't start with us. Okay, Sagittarius, I'm not playing with y'all. Creme Brulee says, I'm secretive and I'm a Sagittarius. See? There it goes. Y'all telling on yourselves. All right, guys, don't forget, you can hear a cleaned up version of our podcast episodes, including a new episode of Club KEMPIRE, which features the Kempire After Dark live show from New York City. So if you missed it, here's your opportunity. Subscribe today to Club KEMPIRE on Apple Podcasts. You can also subscribe on their website if you don't have an Apple device. All right? Excuse me. And while you're there on the podcast, don't forget to give us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts and on Spotify. Let's get to this K. Michelle and Portia scene. K. Michelle and Portia meet up to talk about their issues. So K. Michelle asked Portia why would she bring up her possibly having a miscarriage. Portia says she didn't know what was going on with K's butt. And K was just like, we've had conversations. And that's the thing. I don't know what those conversations included. Were they just talking about their surgeries? Here's the thing. K. Michelle's surgery was from 8 months ago. Portia's surgery at this particular point probably was a few weeks. So I could see Portia possibly not realizing, why would a surgery from 8 months ago be opening up on you? Maybe. Or is she talking about the surgery, the 2-hour surgery that she just had? I don't know. It could be. And so I feel like I'm giving grace to both of them because I'm not sure what exactly was said in these conversations and text messages and things that we do not see. But I still feel like it was a little weird for Portia to blurt out miscarriage kind of thing. Kay says that she talked to Portia about the surgeries. Portia says she didn't know what kind of surgery. Okay. Kay says, who comes out and just talks about miscarriage? And Kay in her confessional is also trying to have a baby. And Portia's like, Portia in the moment apologizes, but she also says, I would never take a dig at a miscarriage. And when K. Michelle says, who comes out and just says miscarriage, she says, I would, because I've had several. Oh. So then she says, I also am an advocate for the March of Dimes, so I would never be so. Here's the thing, though. I get where Portia's coming from, but because you are someone that works with the March of Dimes, you think that you would be a little bit more sensitive in regards to if someone did have a miscarriage and not blurting it out like that. Like, what exactly? I would ask more questions if I was concerned. So what exactly happened? Like, what was the leakage from? I would probably ask a little bit more. But this, again, is Portia. Portia does have this little bit of an immaturity and lack of impulse control and that kind of thing. She does just say things that says whatever comes to mind. I'm not making excuses for it. I'm just telling you a pattern of behavior. Has she changed? Has she matured? Has she grown up? No. We've realized this already. All right. Exactly. Amara says a person who has dealt with that, you would have more compassion. Yeah, so that makes it land a little bit differently for me. But at the same time, do I think that K. Michelle is extra sensitive? Yes. Do I think that K. Michelle might be reaching a little bit? Yes. Do I think that Portia could have been a little bit more sensitive because she's been through it? Yes. All those things can be true. Patricia says she's empty-headed. All right. I'm at work, y'all, says, I love the way that Kay handled it. Portia and Shamia's friendship is starting to make a lot more sense. Bimbos. Okemia says, I blame Diane. Now y'all blaming Mama Diane, but I could see it. Look. Exactly. Ateka says, say Kempire, she's a fool. Yeah, she is. Portia is. Lord. All right. Exactly. King of Kings says, we're talking about the person that thought it was 265 days in a year and that the Underground Railroad was a real train. I know. Miss Parker says that Portia has loose lips and a slow brain. Portia, do not watch any of the recaps because Portia's going to have her feelings hurt about Alicia says, if their prior conversations were that candid and it wasn't an issue, then why would Portia think she was wrong to ask? Maybe. I don't know. Damn, hold on. Way of Keith says, being a bimbo is hereditary. Who says that? Is that true? Is that factual? Is that scientific? Is being a bimbo hereditary? Are you speaking from experience, Keith? Divine Sparkle says K. Michelle's reaching. I think K. Michelle is extra sensitive. I think she is. Because even after Portia apologizes in this scene, In her confessional, which I love her new confessional with the silver cowboy S is giving Renaissance meets Cowboy Carter meets K. Michelle. Oh, Way of Keith says, you better tell her, Kempire, because I'm going to hurt her feelings. I know you are, Keith. All of y'all in the chat going to hurt her feelings. Lou says, how Mama Underground Railroad get in it? Is it hereditary? I want to know. Millie says, I believe Keith. Miss Parker says, is hoism in the bloodline? Lord have mercy. Y'all need to stop. Can y'all do better? Squeeze for Life says, but even if Kay said in the moment, I thought it could be that too. So why would Kay say that if the question was so far? Well, that's true too. Because Kay did laugh in the moment when Portia said that. And then she's like, I thought that too. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like all of it's just a reach. Look, I feel like all of it's a reach. All right, let's move on. Let's get to our callers, guys. Don't forget, the opinions of the callers do not represent the opinions of myself, the KEMPIRE LLC, or our sponsors. And be sure to check out our sponsors in the description. And everything that they say is alleged. If you're a member of the channel, I have dropped the call-in link on the community tab for all members. Live chat, once we get to 1,200 likes, I will drop the call-in link for you guys as well. Before we get to the callers, let me just say thank you. Jameer, thank you so much for the... Jameer Stewart says, I'm not a fan of Pinky's fashion. Me either. But I do think it's because she's vegan. They don't wear any animals, but her husband is fine, though. Wait a minute. Wait. What? What? Are you saying vegans because they can't wear... They have no style? Mayor. What? I don't understand. I'm confused. Not the vegans catching a stray. They can't. Her husband is fine. He a little cross-eyed, but he fine. A little cross-eyed. Since no one's pointed it out, I'll point it out. I don't mind a little cross-eyed. We talked about this before during one of our recaps. There was another person that was cute, but he was a little cross-eyed. Who was it? Y'all remember? Writer Person, thank you so much for the super chat and for being a member. Writer Person says, I think they should do a younger and older cast with the OGs. Let's see how they all play together. You think? Well, they might be doing that if Nene comes back. Demi, thank you so much for the super chat. Nice picture, Demi. She's got a new picture. Thank you for being a member, Demi. Demi says Shamia doesn't have enough cachet for rum, but to take off. Portia might be able to pull it off. Oh, okay. Writer Person, thank you for another super chat. Writer Person says, I think Kay is being a little sensitive, but valid, and Portia is being Portia. I think those two things can be true. I agree with you. That's a perfect way to sum up that scene. But Portia was very grateful to K. Michelle coming to her, but K. Michelle did admit she did go to the other ladies about it. But Portia, this is some real sisterhood stuff. That's what she said. But K. Michelle's still in her confessional talking mess about Portia. All right. He a little cross-eyed. Ain't he a little cross-eyed? So is Sheree's ex-husband. But it was someone else that we thought that was actually cute. Sheree's ex-husband was cross-eyed and ugly. What? All right, Bob Whitfield. Now, we weren't talking about Bob Whitfield. We weren't talking about Jody either, because we don't think Jody's cute. Mika says that Andy Cohen is cockeyed. Andy's like, how I get in it? All right, let me get to the callers. Again, live chat. I will drop the call link for live chat, folks, general audience. Once we get to 1,200 likes, we have over 2,000 of you watching. 2,000. So shout out to you guys. Members, I already dropped the call link for you guys. Miss Angel's backstage. Miss Angel, what did you want to share?
Hey, Kim, and just for FYI, the maximum timeout on Twitch is 10 minutes. So Roger got blocked for 10 minutes. Wait,
you blocked him?
No, he was on a timeout for 10 minutes. That's the max.
Thank you. Do it again when you get a chance.
I will do my service. Okay, so Portia, we know she's a lot of things, but a critical thinker is not one of those things. So I totally don't think she had any malice with coming at Kay. She's just a bobblehead up there. Black is getting all that camera time because Portia put Drew on blast last year. So Drew's just trying to clean that up. I think that's the only reason we're seeing him on FaceTime and at this little date because he flew his own self out to see Drew. And that's saying a lot. And then Angela, I respect her hustle, but I do not respect that spread. We've seen two very sorry meals from her. She needs to step that up because we know Angela is a boss. And that house, she will do a good profit because my in-laws used to do that. And they purchased the house for $1,000 in Georgia because you can do that when they're foreclosed. So Angela, get your money back up. I'm here for that. And Pinky is hollering no prenup, but I think they should get a post-nup just for peace of mind because that marriage is on very shaky ground. If she can't speak to her husband about her finances and her company, especially when he's in the same business, there are red flags all over that.
All right. Thanks so much,
Thank
Angel.
you.
Thanks.
Bye.
Bye. Jermaine says, I disagree. Portia critically thought to out-scam Simon. Jermaine, you make a very valid point. That's a very valid point. Do you think that Portia plays up the dumb? I can see that. I can definitely see that. But I think there is a part of Portia that is, never mind. Let me stop. Before Portia unblocks me, then blocks me again. Just for Pete. She probably has. Who knows? All right. Angel's backstage. Oh, wait, we brought up Angel. Let me bring up Chef Lorraine. Chef Lorraine, what did you want to share about Real Housewives of Atlanta?
Hello, Kempire. How are you?
Oh, well, how are you?
I'm doing well. So what I wanted to say really quick was, remember, you might be too young to remember, the show Three's Company?
No, I remember that. At least the reruns.
You're right. So Portia is Chrissy Snow. She is the Chrissy Snow of Atlanta. And K. Michelle, I'm loving her on this season. And I just hope she don't beat anybody up before the end of the season. Pinky Cole, I feel for her. And it's hard when you married and you own a business because I was in that situation. But to God be the glory, it's over. But
the marriage or the business?
One last thing. Huh?
The marriage or the business?
The marriage.
Oh.
There you go. But one last thing, that Portia Mia is not going to make any money trying to shake her bum on some rum, embarrassing those people in Grenada because I'm West Indian as well. I'm half Dominican. I'm half Dominican and West Indian. And you got to have a higher station, especially when you're trying to do business. And that's a family business. And she's going to embarrass herself.
Right there.
She's not going to make any money. Her turnover is going to be trash because she's only going to favor one demographic.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to hold you no more. Love you. Bye.
Thanks, Chef Lorraine. Take care. Yeah, I cringe, especially because West Indian is West Indian. Jamaican, from Grenada. I'm like, the older man is right there. You getting up and you really putting your butt in that man's face? I'm sure he enjoyed it, but still, have some shim. All right, let's bring up D. Nicole next. D. Nicole, what did you want to share about Real Housewives of Atlanta?
Hey, Kim.
Hey.
Let me step out the office again, Chef.
Okay.
Always got to do that.
Gotta be respectful.
1 second. People on the phone and everything.
What do you do for work?
I'm a budget analyst for the Army.
Oh.
So, yeah. So I'm...
Oh, it must be a hot mess right now.
Listen, every day I try not to cuss. It's not working.
Oh, Lord. Okay.
I had to step outside.
Yeah.
First, let me talk about Drew. I feel like Drew thinks we have stupid written on our forehead when it comes to this whole... Can you hear the flagpole in the background?
No.
Okay, good. I really feel like she thinks we have stupid written on our forehead when it comes to her and Black. Girl, y'all hunching. You grown. Do what you do. Only person that might care or might have some vitriol about it is Ralph with his little peanut head. He gets on my nerves. But Black, he's not ugly, but that spray on beard just made my skin crawl. Can we just dial it back a little bit? It was just a little stark for me. Yeah. What's the other thing? I love Angela, love her down. I don't feel like it's best that because her other houses didn't sell, so I don't know. It just doesn't logically make sense to me, her doing another house, but okay, girl. Portia, I don't think she meant any malice behind her, like, blurting that out. Portia don't think before she says anything. That's just Portia, and I love me for K. Michelle. Still love her down. Pinky, that husband, he gives another Ralph, actually. But
another Ralph Pittman?
Yep.
Oh, All right. Thanks, D. Nicole. Back to work.
Thanks, bye. Yes.
And give us some of our money back, Department of War. I love that we have so many people and so many different walks of life in our community. Shout out to y'all. All right. I can only imagine what y'all dealing with. All right. Oh, Professor Sagittarius is backstage. Professor Sagittarius.
Hey, Kempire, how are you?
Oh, how are you?
I'm fine, even though you're doing all that trash talking about us, but that's okay. I will say this for the previous caller or the statement, there's a difference between being secretive and private. Sagittarius people are very private. We don't like folks in our business. We move in silence. So that's the difference. Okay. As far as Portia's own daughter knows she's dumb as rocks, so it's okay. If you watch her YouTube channel in the beginning, she talks about how PJ was asking her if she went to college or not, and PJ just felt, it's okay, Mommy, it's all right. That's why you use Google. It's okay. Shamia, I'm with Indian also. Yeah, that's not going to work. And if Shamia doesn't get it together, she's going to lose her marriage. As far as Pinky, I do have a little insight on that. I had a girlfriend that was working with Pinky last year to help with the behind the scenes. And that person specialized in HR and payroll. So you were right. Pinky did have somebody else handling the payroll, and that person did not know what they were doing. So she said Pinky had a lot of people in places that weren't supposed to be in those places that didn't know what they were doing. Pinky grew too fast for her own good. She didn't know what she was doing in business. She was naive. But she says one thing she did respect about Pinky is that she was very transparent. She was trying to clean things up. As you can see, she is trying to clean things up. Yeah. But the funny thing she did tell me, the person who was handling her previous HR stuff would not release her information to the new contractor. And I thought maybe because she didn't pay, but she said, no, Pinky did pay in full. The person was just angry that she found someone else.
See? Thank you for calling and
got a lot
clarifying that.
going on. She got a lot going on behind the scenes.
And a lesson
but she's
for all
trying.
and that's a lesson for all of us to learn from.
Yes, yes.
Wow. Thank you so much for that, Professor Sagittarius.
You're welcome. Have a great day.
You too. Wow. That makes sense, guys. When you're talking about $100 million business, you think Pinky's over here at the computer doing payroll? I don't even do my own payroll. I pay someone to do my payroll. And God, by the grace of God, hopefully they're doing what they're supposed to be doing. Okay? And at the end of the day, she's the face of the company, so they're going to sue her. So that makes sense. So this is a learning lesson for all of us. As I said before, this is something that a lot of you are going to be dealing with. Not necessarily people stealing from you and things like that. You just don't know. But if you're an entrepreneur, because a lot of people became entrepreneurs during the pandemic. And now that you're running your own business and maybe you're successful, maybe you're about to scale to be bigger and things like that. So these are things to think about. And make sure you have control over your payroll. Damn. So the person wasn't paying the people, and now the people are suing her, and that's a narrative. You see how a narrative can just go around where, oh, she's not paying people. I'm sure she would hope that she could pay people, but she don't have access to the damn payroll. Damn. All right. We'll wait. All right. Tyler's backstage. Let's bring Tyler up next. Uh-oh. What Tyler got to say?
Hi, Kempire.
Hey.
What I will say is Portia is less than smart. Let's just call it real. She's dumb. She's not playing the dumb role. Portia seems to only know how to work men, and that's the problem. Just being for real. And there's nothing wrong with that. You've been told you're pretty, and she is a pretty woman, and her looks and her assets have gotten her to certain places, so she only knows how to work men. And if I were K. Michelle, I think that the tweets and things came because it's like what Britt did with Kenya. You think that someone's coming for you based off their history. And she did reference the Kelli thing or whatever like that, but I would still keep my eye on Portia because Portia's no one's friend. And I think that,
I agree with that.
K. Michelle clocked that. She's, okay, you may not be coming for me in this moment, but I know since I've already addressed you, you're going to wait and then come up with something. And so I need to be tuned in on you. I think that's what's going on. And as far as the show go, Pinky Cole is a Sagittarius like me. We are very private people, but we're too trusting. So I can see exactly what goes on. Most Sagittarius, they want to put everyone on. They have amazing ideas, but we're not good with execution. Hence, Nene Leaks and all the other Sagittarius, amazing ideas, but we're not good with execution. We need a Virgo or a Capricorn or a Taurus to help us with that. That's why they make good friends with us. But
I agree.
and Shamia, my God. I love her, but she is Shamia. Even the lawyer said that's kind of cringy. I'm like, Shamia, girl, sit down. You want some attention? Somebody should have hugged you, baby, and told you you're beautiful. You're enough. Sit down.
Is she a middle child?
Is she? No, I think Shamia is the youngest.
Is she the youngest? Oh.
Yes, and I can relate because I'm the youngest of 12, and I know how it feels trying to find and I know how it feels trying to find your footing and things like that. And I think that's what's going on with her, and it translates in her family, in her friendships, the people pleasing and all that. But I do not want to see anyone leave the show but Drew. I'm sorry.
Oh.
When you have an actress that's on the show, seriously, I'm not trying to diminish her career or anything, but when you think like when they brought in K. Michelle, that's a notable name. She sold records. She did this. I'm sorry, I don't want an actress that's been struggling their whole career to find that big role. You don't have the fact, and then Drew is, and she's so performative. I just don't get the allure. Even when she was talking to Angela eating those public grapes, I was just like, why are we sick? Yeah, and Amari's right there. Drew just does not correlate with the girls. She does not fit in. Her wigs look like those little mop bucket wigs. It's just, I am over Drew. It's like she finds the cheapest outfits and find the lowest version of the purse, the Louis Vuitton purse, to make herself look high end. I'm just over her. I'm sorry. I don't get it about Drew. She can roll. She does not fit in with the girls. They do bully her, though.
Yes.
They do.
Yeah.
I will say that, but
Especially
if you want
season.
Drew gone,
They
should try to include her and then phase her out. She keeps coming back because you all bully her. Stop. Be her friend so she can go.
They propped her up by doing the same with Stacey.
That's what they do. But I think Stacey is a star. Sorry. Stacey was going to, whether you bullied her or not. Yes, even though they say her breath smells like city garbage. I love Stacey. All right, bye, Kempire.
Bye, Tyler. Tyler, you lit? That Publix catching strays. I can't. All right. Did I drop the call link for the general audience? I'm surprised the backstage. Y'all not interested in Real Housewives of Atlanta? Or this is just a bad time? Everybody at lunch? Did I drop the call link for everybody? Let me drop it one more time. We still have people backstage, but for Potomac, it was like people they couldn't even get backstage. I'm very shocked. Do you guys not have things to say about Atlanta? Oh my gosh. If you're part of the replay crew, be sure to let us know your thoughts on the latest episode of Real Housewives of Atlanta. Don't forget, tonight I will go live, probably around 9 p.m. Eastern, to recap the Real Housewives of Atlanta exclusively on TikTok. Be sure to follow me on TikTok at the KEMPIRE. All right. Tyler done tore them up. See, I gave Tyler more time. Don't let me. Tyler's still backstage. I can bring it back up at the end. All right. Oh, Tyler just left. All right. Keith is backstage. Keith. Somebody else is going to tear them up.
Hey, Kempire.
Hey, how are you?
I'm doing pretty well. And yourself?
I'm doing well. Is bimbo genetic?
I believe being slow passes down from generation to generation to generation. Sorry, Pilar. Good luck. But I'm just saying, your mom is not the smartest person that
Move on.
But anyway, what I wanted to say is also, I'm glad you brought up Portia, because my thing with Portia is that I feel like there's just something not connecting in her head. In the words of Tiffany New York Pollard's mom, what's not clicking? Because I really do think she would probably in the front of the yellow school bus with a chaperone growing up. But there's just something about her that doesn't seem like she fully grasped the issues. But also, I do want to say, Portia is a bully because when she gets with Giselle, she is the biggest bully. Watch what happens on the next Ultimate Girls trip. I guarantee you she's going to be one of the biggest bullies. Her and Giselle, I already know it. But also, I do want to say, K. Michelle, unlike most people who typically marry someone for finances or because of kids, I'm a little confused on why she married her husband, because it seems like it's complacency. And if y'all don't have kids, if it's not for finances, why are you settling? There's no reason. I'm like, why are you just settling for whatever it is? I don't really think she loves him. I just think she's happy that she's with someone. But also, as far as Sheree Jr., Pinky Cole, I think she needs to also really just pay her bills, but also she needs to get away from her husband, because me, myself, I actually just opened up a business a few weeks ago. I started my business a few weeks ago, and my man is actually very supportive, giving me a lot of financial advice. And he's a financial advisor, so he's able to give me a lot of great financial advice.
Yeah.
So I'm like, Pinky, I'm not sure. I feel like your husband sees the competition, but he feels if you're down, then he's up. And a lot of men, especially heterosexual men, they love to be in a relationship where they can be above the woman, where they could be able to say, yeah, you need me. I'm the leader. I'm masculine. You could come to me. So I think there is a little bit of competition in their relationship. And Kelli, the only Kelli I know is Kelli Rowland. But also Shamia, I have to say, Shamia, she does need to pay attention to her husband as far as the business advice, because you don't become a multimillionaire by being stupid. You don't become rich as he is by not knowing what you're doing. So I do think she needs to take that advice. But also, I do want to say, I don't have an issue with Gerald not being on the show, because he does have an actual job. He does actually travel. He's not selling hot dogs, because I think he does have an actual job that I think actually makes money. I don't think he necessarily needs to be a part of the group, because he has to actually make money. But yeah, and also I just want to say, I think that's probably why we need to be wary of the husbands that can appear on every single scene. Because you can appear on every single scene. You don't have a job. You don't have friends. You're not with your boys. You're not playing golf. I'm just saying. That's it.
Thanks, Keith. Mess. OMG, Lord. Whitley, thank you so much for being here. Whitley says the payroll person was stealing, also paying an extra employee, aka money, going into their secret bank account. Another reason why she won't hand over that payroll. Ugh. Yeah, could you go to jail for something like that? Wow. I don't understand how she's not able, like, she probably has to sue them in order for her to hand over the payroll. That's crazy. Can you imagine? That's crazy to me. All right, let me bring up TJ next. TJ, what's going on?
Hey, Kempire, it's been a while.
I know. How are you?
Oh my God, I've been going through it, but I'm good now.
Good.
I'm good. I've got two things to say, maybe three. Pinky, bro. Pinky brought out the African in me when she said, did you say Pharaoh's the one who eats dead people?
Yes.
And I was like, oh, Pinky. I said it in the way we say it this side. Pinky. Not Pinky. Add that H. So yeah, but I think Pinky doesn't feel safe with her man, because why are you keeping secrets, girl? Why secrets? I mean, on principle anyway. And it's an important thing. It's not like a tea thing you share with your girls. And then I really like the way K. Michelle handles Portia, because she knows the kind of friend Portia is, so she's not scared of her. She'll tell her straight up. She's not going to mess it about. And they are friends. So it's like the weather of friendship, where I know you're full of ish, but don't do that. Don't bring up my mentions and don't bring up things we talk about like that. Ask me first, wait for me. And she was also interjecting a lot when K. Michelle was trying to tell her story. So, ma'am, just wait. Let me finish what I have to say, and then whatever. And then what else? Okay, Drew can go. I'm over Drew. And yeah, Angela, you make money, girl. Hire a chef. Hire a chef.
Right? Like, have somebody come cater it.
Ma'am, what are you doing? You're so pretty and all that. Get a fan and hire a chef.
Get a fan. Thanks, CJ. All right, Arjun is backstage. Let's bring Arjun up next. Arjun, what did you want to share about Real Housewives of Atlanta?
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, quick thing.
Wait, why do you sound so far, though?
Oh, can you hear me now?
Do you have headphones on?
Yes.
Take them off.
Turn it off. Please, I'm just gonna turn
Look.
it off. Now?
Yeah, so much better.
Say again?
Yes.
Oh, I can't hear what you're saying.
Go. Just go.
Have you ever, in the last season, did we ever see Charles and Angela's younger kids? Or I don't know if they have a younger kid, or do they? Did we ever see them on the show? Oh, okay, then I'll watch her, because I was always wondering, why don't we ever see the young kids? Also, On the week, I think it was last weekend, did you meet Chris Appleton? Did you meet him?
Who?
Kim Kardashian's hairstylist, Chris Appleton.
Oh.
You were at the event.
Can you hear me now?
I can't hear you, but... Okay, so I don't know if you know this, but he's from the same city as me, from the UK. Yeah,
Oh.
yeah, he's from...
No, I met his boyfriend, his ex-husband.
I can't hear you, but yeah, he's from the same city as me. His son actually went to the same school as me. I found that out when I left the school, but his son actually went to the same school as me.
Okay.
Yeah, I always wonder how he is, like in person, if he's nice or not, but that you didn't meet him, so there's that. Okay, back
Arjun. Arjun's a mess. What a mess. All right. Sidebar, did you guys see the preview for next week of Real Housewives of Atlanta? And they showed that Dennis filmed. Why is Dennis coming on camera looking like that? He looked homeless. Honestly, I've seen homeless people look better than him. I was like, what? And it's so funny when they showed that picture of Dennis when Kelli was talking about him. And I was like, maybe they pulled that from Instagram. But no, he filmed like that? Oh my God. Lord, have mercy. All right, let me bring up Naturally Sadie. Naturally Sadie, are you there? Naturally Sadie, you're muted. Naturally Sadie, I can't hear you. Maybe because you can't hear me. All right, I'll drop you down. We're going to bring up Guy next. Guy, what did you want to share about Atlanta?
Can you hear me?
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. How are you, Kempire?
Oh, well, how are you?
I'm good, thank you. I'm calling from Montreal, Canada. I just joined the live. Maybe I'm going to repeat myself. Sorry for that. The episode, honestly, when the season started, I was not impressed. I thought it was like over ATL, but honestly, after last week's episode, I was with the mess, so I'm back at it. I'm back at it with the mess. But the only thing I wanted to say, I can't with Shamia. Taurus season is definitely right now, and everything I'm seeing right now makes me cringe. I don't know if it's not, I don't know. What I'm noticing is you can have the money, you can have the success, but sometimes something inside of you, you need to have the love for yourself, you need to have the respect for yourself, you need to value yourself because this is not it. She's dancing and tapping in front of us, and it's it's pitiful, honestly. I felt bad for her with the liquor, the business that she's trying to build, her relationship with Gerald. It's just a glimpse, but what I'm seeing, I'm like, Shamia, I'd rather just see you on Instagram and think about you being something else than what I'm seeing right now. I'm not impressed at all. And I'm not obsessed, but I do love K. Michelle on the show, so I can wait to see what their season will unfold. So thank you for your time. Have a great day.
You too, Guy. Take care.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Let's try Naturally Sadie one more time. Naturally Sadie, are you there? Naturally Sadie. All right, I'm going to bring you back down. All right. Last but definitely not least, we're going to bring up Tiara. Tiara, what's going on?
Hey, Kempire, how are you?
Oh, well, how are you?
I'm well. So I'm an Aries, so we had a great run. Now we're on to the Taurus, but we're still here and live at the Never Color. Anyway,
Cue the Tisha Campbell song. I'm still here.
Yes, here. But I just wanted to say, I know I have a few seconds. Shamia, starless. K. Michelle, too emotional. Kay, it's okay. We know you may have talked to Portia off of camera. However, this is a show. Keep it cute. We already know that. Don't break the fourth wall yet. This is not Love and Hip Hop. Stick to what you know. This is Bravo. Step it up, baby, okay? We love you on here, but step it up. And then Angela, love her daughter. Amazing. She checked her like we love. When she slammed that door, she said, okay, so he didn't know about it? Yeah. She was like, oh. We didn't discuss this on the ride over here for rehearsal. But Angela's reads and her stuff is all rehearsed. Anyway, most importantly, an episode without Kelli is the best ever. Thanks. That's all I wanted to say.
Thanks, Tiara. Bye. She's still here. Here. I love that damn song. Not really. I don't love the song. I just love the meme of it. All right. Oh, man. Damn. So for those that may have missed it, Kelli was not on this week's... I mean, she technically was in the flashback and then in the confessional thing, but she didn't have a personal scene. Phaedra was there during the pedicure scene, But she also didn't have a personal scene. It's 8 housewives, though, so you're not going to get personal scenes every single week. This week, it was about K. Michelle, it was about Angela, it was about Drew. But I do find it interesting that some of you are saying that you're over Drew. And I think because of last season, everyone coming for Drew, people were rooting for Drew. But now we're in this next season. Drew's been on the show, 5 seasons now? And it's still feeling performative in some ways. So, are you guys over Drew? Guess what? Very much like Taurus season, she's still here. Red Ray says, I didn't even realize she was missing. Millie says, what a great live this evening. Thanks, Kemp and chat. Thank you, Millie. Shout out to our King's Guard. Shout out to everyone that sends in super chats, Venmos, Cash Apps. I don't see the Venmos and Cash Apps after the show because I have all my notifications are off. All notifications are off, but thank you guys so much for supporting any way that you can by liking the video, sharing the video if you're part of the replay crew. Be sure to let us know your thoughts and opinions on this week's episode of the Real Housewives of Atlanta. Don't forget, I will be live tomorrow. I haven't decided the time. I think 1:30 I will probably be live for Tuesday Takeover, where we cover a variety of pop culture news, but we'll also be recapping Real Housewives of Rhode Island. All right, so we haven't forgotten about that. They just have not matured to have their own live recaps, but I see the potential, Rhode Island. I see the potential. So we'll talk about that tomorrow. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. Make sure your notifications are on. And be sure to follow us on TikTok, The KEMPIRE on TikTok. I'll be live tonight to talk more about Real Housewives of Atlanta. And be sure to follow us on Facebook, The KEMPIRE on Facebook. Follow me on Instagram, The KEMPIRE on Instagram as well. And if you're not subscribed to the podcast, be sure to subscribe. You'll get a cleaned up, edited version of this live recap on the KEMPIRE podcast. Subscribe today. Thank you again to our King's Guards. Thank you to our channel members. We're almost at 1,300 likes. Let's get there. Keep liking the video. I will see you all in the next one. Thank you to our sponsors. More information on our sponsors and everything KEMPIRE will be available in the description. Everyone have a great Monday. Happy 420 and happy Taurus season. Bye, y'all. Thanks for tuning in to KEMPIRE here on the KEMPIRE Radio Network. Don't forget to give us 5 stars on Apple Podcasts and on Spotify. And for more information on the podcast, head on over to KEMPIREradio.com.